Figures very quickly arrived from the horizon, a considerably odd combination. A 10-year-old feeble youth, red-haired young man, and a golden-haired woman. The golden-haired woman was quite eye-catching. Her upper body wore a half-sleeve, gold-embroidered corset. Her clothes were very revealing, with only 3 thin lines connected together. She wore no underwear beneath it. Half of her perfectly round breasts were vaguely visible. Her back was crammed with sheathed throwing knives. Her lower body was a waist skirt, with brown armored boots encasing her lower legs. Matching with the woman's mature personality, she was full of sexiness and strictness. Shurjiao Ying, Inya Shangqing, 3, you truly were too slow coming here. The relaxed man slowly walked in the wind. The 3 of them appeared very familiar. The others? The man courteously asked. The feeble youth named Shurjiao Ying had in his eyes a cruelty and terrifying history that was quite mismatched with his age. Han Bing had some matters she could not relieve herself from. Just the few of us is enough. Song Feng, just what the hell did you use 10,000 Li sound transmission to summon us for? The youth's tone was sinister. Has the sign of the piercing star come to a star general? The red-haired man hurriedly asked. We waited for 2 months. Finally, a fish has taken the bait, and it is a big fish. Nongmei giggled in reply. What big fish? Mie Shangqing's face was excited. The majestic star and the hero star. Song Feng faintly grinned. Their faces showed astonishment. The majestic star, unmatched at close quarters. The hero star, unparalleled at long range. This combination was considerably awesome. Is this true? Mie Shangqing was not fearful, but was even more excited on the contrary. Song Feng elegantly waved his hand. Precisely, so that is why I thought to call the others. These 2 star generals are not easy to face, I fear. However, it is too late now. Majestic star Lin Chong and Hua Rong are already about to break through the puppet array that we arranged. Nongmei regretfully spread her hands. Wait, is the majestic star not rumored to have signed a contract with that whatever purple thunder monster? Mie Shangqing said, fidgety. This is true, but we did not see him. Clearly, the purple thunder monster has let her out on her own, or perhaps there has been a change, and now she is working with the hero star. Song Feng had continuously paid close attention for activity in the ruins these past few days, and indeed, the heavenly star came without a star master. Then, there was definitely one among them that had not signed a contract. Is this not even better? Use the Northern Dipper Heavenly Cycle Array. Whether it is the hero star or the majestic star, we definitely can capture them. The red-haired man was red in the face from excitement. Between them comrades, only he had yet to find a star general to contract with. Of course, there was an important reason that was Mie Shangqing was honestly demanding. It is fortunate this one did not sign a contract with that demon star touching the sky Du Qian. Now, this one finally has found the one he wants. Mie Shangqing was incomparably excited, as if he could capture both the majestic star and hero star at any time. And hearing his words, Shurjiao Ying and Song Feng hid very expertly their disdain and contempt. Their star maidens showed even greater detachment. This Mie Shangqing's personality was extremely arrogant. Just on the basis of his supercluster late-stage terrifying cultivation, he completely could not look upon earthly stars. Demon star touching the sky Du Qian once had the fortune to meet him. Originally, that star maiden named Du Chunyu, 5, was very willing to sign a contract with him. The result was unexpectedly contrary. He surprisingly killed her, reason being, Du Chunyu's heavenly flame demon imperial saber was unexpectedly better suited for his own use. This nearly made the others destroy him. Star maidens were inherently rare, with the white tiger territory being even more lacking in them, yet he still did not treasure them. In the end, although they encountered a powerful heavenly star as strong as Daredevil third brother, 6, it was a pity that the counterpart basically did not care. The group working together was unable to capture Shi Xiu. 7, going through this process, this Mie Shangqing was even more picky. However, he did not encounter any more powerful star generals. He did not even see an earthly star. Now that the third phase was already ending, the White Tiger 7 Spirit Star was still missing his alone. If it was not for this guy's truly powerful strength, and if it was not for the sake of the White Tiger 7 Spirit Stars, why would any of them bother helping him? However, there is only use few to face two top-notch star generals. Do we actually have a chance? Song Feng smiled. Sergio Ying turned his head to look at the woman. Qin Xiao, how do you feel? The Qin Xiao woman's finger played with her golden hair. She was eager to try. There is a chance facing one elder sister. Two is troublesome, particularly Lin Chong. It will not be simple. Then good. Hearing her words, the weak-looking youth was contrarily content. Lin Chong, leave her to the four of us. I do not believe that the majestic star can face the four of us. Sergio Ying's gaze returned to Song Feng. What do you all see? No need to see. Any more, and the majestic star and hero star will run off with the star-piercing arrow. Nong Mei courteously reminded them. Then let us test them. A star general is unrivaled in Liangshan after the fourth phase. Now is the time we ought still be able to face them directly. Song Feng downplayed his words, yet he had an elegant confidence. Furthermore, that many puppets should be sufficient to exhaust their energy. At that time, battling them will have 50-50 odds. Nong Mei smiled. Very well. This one is already tired of waiting. Mie Shangqing seemed to have seen the scene of himself signing a contract with the top-notch star general. So long as he could contract any one of the two, he could be the head of the White Tiger 7 Spirit Stars. Of course, if he could contract the two of them, he would undoubtedly be this generation's overlord. As for his wild fantasy that was written clearly on his face, everyone said nothing. They only ordered the next arrangements, how they were to conquer their big catch. Inside the ruins. Following Lin Yingmei's spear disintegrating the final profound golem, the hall's forbid dance loudly collapsed. This is truly strange. Lin Yingmei looked around at the scrap heaps strewn about, deeply wrinkling her brows. Yingmei, what is the matter? Hua Wanyue wiped her sweat. Consecutive days of exhaustion finally ended. Lin Yingmei shook her head, hinting to Hua Wanyue to take the star-piercing arrows. Hua Wanyue nodded, skipped up the stairs to the platform. She had just stepped on when Hua Wanyue suddenly whirled around, drawing her bow into a half-moon aimed at Lin Ying. The Lin Yingmei currently in contemplation raised her head to look at Hua Wanyue. A sneer flit across hero star Little Li Guang's face. Her whole body's powerful domineering aura seemed to concentrate it onto her arrow, fully releasing a frightening light. She practically did not have any room to think. The bow loosed. Firing the arrow. Dark rank arrow technique. 10,000 Li God-killing arrow. The arrow pierced through, its light expanding. It seemingly ran through the screams of heaven and earth. The arrow light flew directly towards Lin Yingmei, shooting at the thing behind her. The full arrow chi scraped past Lin Yingmei's cheek, making the girl's hair flutter, plowing a deep trench into the ground. The main hall seemed to have been cracked in two by this one arrow. It flew into the darkness, disappearing. Lin Yingmei showed bewilderment. The star-piercing arrow has another forbid dance. It cannot be obtained at the moment. Hua Wanyue's voice was elegant. She still drew back on her bow as before, the curve fully displayed. Because there are some orioles behind us, gnats of the greatest hindrance. The snow-walking frost-eye beast suddenly straightened its body and roared at the entrance to the main hall. Lin Yingmei was slightly surprised. She gripped her spear. A powerful fury and killing intent pushed in from the entrance, practically cramming the room. Afterwards, several silhouettes appeared. Using Hua Wanyue's words to describe them, quite a few gnats had come. 2 men, 1 youth, and a sexy and mature woman appeared. Hua Rong. The elegance on Song Feng's body had already been replaced by a sorry figure. The youth's eyes were shocked and resentful. Just now, they had been rushing towards the main hall. No one could have expected that suddenly an arrow light would promptly magnify before their very eyes. The closed-in passageway completely did not allow for any possibility of dodging. Song Feng thought that he was dead for sure at that moment. Fortunately, his star general Nongmei used her body as a shield to obstruct this arrow. Even so, The remaining arrow light still pierced through Nongmei's body and made Song Feng sustain injury. This practically was like a nightmare. They had yet to take the stage, yet they were first sneak attacked by hero star Little Li Guang. Before they even met, one was dead, another injured. Even the arrogant Nie Shangqing was dumbstruck. This was the power of the hero star, the absolute in archery. Truly a pity. A hair lay atop Hua Wanyue's lips. The hero star gently sighed. She had originally thought the 10,000 Li God-killing arrow could warn their opponents to back off. She did not expect that the interlopers were 3-star masters, and it appeared their strength was extremely capable. They were all at least supercluster middle stage cultivation, with one even supercluster late stage. This is truly odd. When did the Vermilion Bird territory have so many supercluster stage star masters? The 3 heavenly books have not even begun. Come to die! Lin Yingmei gripped her spear in one hand, a prick of cold light pointed at them. Wait a moment, this is a misunderstanding. Song Feng suddenly said. Hua Rong, this is our friend, Nie Shangqing. You ought to be able to see that he is a star master capable of contracting with a star general. His cultivation is supercluster late stage. Perhaps no one can reach him, how about it? Song Feng indicated to Nie Shangqing. This refined man actually made Hua Wanyue give him a new level of respect. His star general was killed by her, yet that he still could remain calm and collected honestly demonstrated he was a character. On the surface, that was refinement, yet underneath he had capability. Sign a contract with this one. This one guarantees to make you know what is called the true overlord of Liangshan. Nie Shangqing let out an air of dominance to match Song Feng's words, as if a tide of fire was rolling. His imposing appearance was full of a scorching hot feeling. The ramparts and puppets unexpectedly were heated to a thorough red. How about it, sign a contract with this one, the both of you together? Nie Shangqing was too self-important. Where did this clown come from? Lin Yingmei sneered. Well said. Hua Wanyue chuckled. Nie Shangqing's face turned the color of pig's liver from fury at the sound of this. Song Feng stepped forward and restrained his anger. Hua Rong, I think it best you consider this a bit more carefully. The star-piercing ruin here is something that we deliberately planned. Now that you two have squandered your strength, maintaining the harmony between Star Master and Star General is to be prized. We do not wish to use force at all. I have no interest in clowns like your lot. Her words fell, her bow fired. Arrow light shattered, becoming 10,000 rays, falling like rain. Yellow rank arrow technique. Dance through the willows. Bang bang bang. A series of crisp sounds rang. The golden-haired woman Qingqiao soared into the air, unsheathed the throwing daggers on her back, and dispersed them into a parasol, unexpectedly blocking this yellow technique. Elder sister is very stubborn. You make Qingqiao feel very disappointed. Qingqiao regretfully said. Her right hand shook, and an iron spear appeared, with 3 twinkling stars. Song Feng, your nonsense dragged on for too long. We should have used force to conquer them. The youth Shurjiao Ying sneered. He pointed, and 100 flying swords of brilliant light appeared. They launched an attack together with Qingqiao at the same time. Yingmei, I will still have to trouble you once more. Hua Wanyue apologetically said. This is exactly what your servant has been seeking. Lin Yingmei shouted. She mounted the snow-walking frost-eye beast, raising the Arctic star serpent spear. In the hall, ice and snow immediately stormed. Using only a few dozen words, a few moments of time, Su Xing brought back the soul-nurturing wood and mind-setting grass. He was efficiently quick. Chai Ling, who had not even made her mental preparations, was under the impression Su Xing already had them. In actuality, the real reason was just that Su Xing used that 1,000-year evil-suppressing gem bamboo as he walked around a market square, and thus, he made the transactions. Zhang Yuqi, having sustained soul has been lost status, was fighting for minutes. Although the soul-nurturing wood and mind-setting grass could be obtained, the travel back and forth required lots of time. The damaged star's condition was far from good, and Su Xing naturally would not waste time. As for the difficult-to-find soul-nurturing wood, mind-setting grass and such, so long as he himself put out his bargaining chips for a transaction, especially with his lavishness, an exchange was easy as turning over his hand. Liangshan continent's cultivators were so numerous, it was not strange for some to have a secret stash. After hearing Su Xing's downplayed explanation, Chai Ling was taken aback. He honestly was meticulous, as if the 1,000-year evil-suppressing gem bamboo was worthless. Next, what's the Devil's Star? Su Xing's question pulled Chai Ling back from her astonishment. Ah. Chai Ling opened the golden thread feather fan, hiding her emotions. She said, Zhang Shun's has been taken away by the 9 nether Devil Star stones cut. The way to return her soul is very simple. Just shatter that Devil Star on the weapon. In the end, use the mind-setting grass to seize and return her soul. Simple? Shiyu felt this was practically harder than climbing the heavens. She was injured by Great Blade Guansheng. Now that Guanxing is again at the Black Turtle Territory's #1 Devil Star Palace recuperating, Shiyu is afraid that she will not leave seclusion for the near future. Could it be we must charge through this Devil Palace? Shiyu's tone was hoarse. Furthermore, even without her saying about a rush through the Devil Palace, how were they to take back that soul from the 5-star Great Blade? The soul method was to kill Guansheng, but that was an assignment that was impossible to achieve from the very start. This will have to depend on what level your relationship with Zhang Yuqi is at. Chai Ling's words had a deeper meaning. Chai Ling, if you have a countermeasure, just say it directly. Su Xing said. This palace and Guan Ying have a relationship. This palace can hand over a keepsake to you. So long as you can show this keepsake when you see Guan Ying, this palace believes she will not make things difficult for you. Really? Which one of the 9 generations of Great Blade Guanshengs have not been loyal or brave, overwhelmingly righteous? However, while this Guan Ying has reached an extreme, her essence still maintains a martial general's spirit of the warrior. This palace's request she will not decline. Chai Ling explained confidently. But then came the problem. Who could infiltrate the Devil Star Palace to go see Guansheng? Furthermore, there had to be a guarantee they would not encounter Great Saint Starkiller. That was but the Black Turtle Territory's #1 Devil Palace. The 9 hells also were merely so. Little sister's affairs naturally will be assumed by me, as the elder sister. Zhang Feiyu was resolute and decisive. Shiyu also said, since this is a matter of Feiyu's little sister, your servant also cannot stand by and watch. You two are going? This is courting death. Su Xing shook his head. Exactly. The Devil Star Palace has impressive precautions. Even if you infiltrate the palace, you would be in violation of the Star Duel's regulations. The Devil Star Palace can take action against you at any moment. Chai Ling leisurely stroked Xing. Even if I die, I am going. Zhang Feiyu stared at Su Xing, as if she was mocking his fear. How could she have expected that Su Xing's next sentence would make her stunned? You'll cause trouble if you go. It's enough for just me alone to go. Huh. All of the beauties were dumbstruck. Dear husband. Before they indulged in delusions, Su Xing explained, the reason why I'll go is, first, I want to sign a contract with Zhang Yuqi. Since a contract always requires some sort of price, then naturally I will go. The second is that I have hiding. Infiltrating Devil Star Palace is no problem, and even if I run into danger, I can deal with it. Don't forget, Langya is the bane of the Devil Star Palace. Speaking of Langya, Chai Ling then remembered to remind him, the Devil Star Palace has already diffused information about your Langya to the entire Black Turtle Territory. Now, you are but everyone's enemy. Is that so? Su Xing was not very concerned about such a minor thing. He was already used to it. Chai Ling's eyes held charm. She gently laughed and said, Xing, you honestly are peculiar. You have offended all of the Azure Dragon Territory and the Black Turtle Territory, yet you can still be so free. Back on topic, if Xinger's sisters return, you can completely crush Devil Star Palace, and there would be no need for this amount of trouble. Chai Ling glanced enticingly. Upon consideration, what Su Xing said was fair and reasonable. Zhang Feiyu was unable to refute him. Balanced star boatman Zhang Feiyu clapped both her hands onto Su Xing's shoulders. Her deep feelings saying that her little sister's life was entrusted to him. Dear husband. Before he departed, Hunyangzi showed a bitter face. Wife, just stay here. I alone will be good. Su Xing smiled. Nyangzi is dear husband star general, how can Nyangzi watch dear husband face danger? Hunyangzi bit her lips, speaking with strictness yet fully helpless. Su Xing whispered into her ear, Wife, dear husband has let you down. Do not blame yourself. To speak of it, this is still my failure. Ah. Hunyangzi was stunned. That night I wanted to put you into the star nest, but Su Xing tapped her, yet their star nest was not connected in any way. At that time, Su Xing understood the wet dream he had the other night with Lining Mei was real. However, his partner was bright star 10 feet of blue Husanyang. And he himself was surprisingly completely unaware. Come to think of it, Hunyangzi's heart must have been suffering for a very long time after losing her virginity. This was truly wretched. Actually, wife initiated, because Hunyangzi started to speak but stopped. Because what? Su Xing was surprised. Nothing. Hunyangzi smiled painfully. Clearly, she did not want to talk about this topic. Su Xing was silent for a moment. He nodded, slightly smiled and said, Even if you don't have a star nest, even if dear husband has to stake his own life, I will protect you. How could Hunyangzi doubt this point? 10 feet of blue's eyes grew moist, nearly crying. Su Xing dearly consoled her. However, you didn't have repercussions after you lost your virginity? Is your body still unwell right now? Su Xing asked, concerned. He remembered that Wu Xinjie and Lining Mei both had many twists and turns. None. Hunyangzi shook her head. In actuality, how could Su Xing have known that there were 3 star generals among Maiden Mountain's 108 star maidens that did not need to pay any price for losing their virginity? Hunyangzi was one of them. So at that time, Su Xing had doubted the reality of that wet dream. However, the Hunyangzi at that time did not exhibit any abnormalities of debilitation, so he dismissed the idea. Right? Was little Huang there that night? Su Xing awkwardly said. When he woke up, little Huang was sleeping to one side. Then this means, Hunyangzi's ears were thoroughly red. Her first night in her bridal chambers unexpectedly was witnessed for the entire night by a 7-8-year-old elder sister. At that time, Hunyangzi was nearly embarrassed to death. Seeing her finally put away her hurt feeling, Su Xing's mood was much better. He hugged Hunyangzi. Only after Chai Ling, Zhang Feiyu and Shiyu walk out did Hunyangzi finally leap away. Are we interrupting you? Chai Ling seemed odd. Are we ready? Su Xing asked. This token can allow you entry to Devil Star Palace's premises, but you still need to be careful inside. This jade pendant is the keepsake to give Guan Ying. Chai Ling took out a black Devil Star jade pendant and a token. Guan Ying remembers Milord, is a disguise needed? The water illusion fairy saw Su Xing holding Hunyangzi's hand, and she turned downcast. Su Xing nodded. I'm going now. Right, Shiyu, I'll give this black turtle seal to you. Su Xing's wrist flipped and sent out the black turtle seal. Any way it was put, the pair had collaborated in Black Turtle Temple. Although Shiyu had many good fortune pills, she had been quite unlucky. Shiyu returned to her senses from her frustration, subconsciously catching this 4-sided seal. I already helped refine it for you. Su Xing smiled. How can this do? Shiyu hesitated. This was but the first memento Su Xing had sent her, but it was too extravagant, a prehistoric spirit treasure. Take it as protection. Su Xing knew that Shiyu had offended the sex of the entire Black Turtle territory for his sake. Just treat it as thanks. If Milord wants to give thanks, just embrace Shiyu. Shiyu was bashful. Ha! Chai Ling turned her head, her expression strange. Sure. Su Xing walked over, spreading his arms and hugging Shiyu. Shiyu closed her eyes in satisfaction, truly unwilling to part. I'm going to Devil Star Palace now. Be careful. Do not die. Chai Ling pursed her lips, seemingly smiling. I can't die. Su Xing smiled. He soared into the sky, and his escape light vanished into the horizon. After 1,000 li, Su Xing gazed at the boundless sea of clouds, the luxuriant chain of hills. Again, he recalled his separations with beauties. I really want this done quickly, he muttered. Su Xing took a deep breath, changing his escape light. A cold wind froze the main hall, cold yet with a certain fury. Mie Shangqing, Song Feng and Shurjiao Ying were somewhat unable to utter a word as they stared at the cool and elegant woman before them. That Arctic star serpent spear was unexpectedly bone-chilling. That was merely 3-star. Lin Yingmei straddled the snow-walking frost-eye beast, like an impenetrable defense. With the strength of one person, she stopped the attack of 3-star masters. Furthermore, hero star Little Li Guanghua Wanyue fired arrows from behind her. Arrow lights following gorgeous arcs always were the most appropriate. Lin Yingmei attacked at the most opportune times and always that precisely. The front had a spear that snapped snow. The rear had a bow and arrow that destroyed wind. The situation became quite unimaginable. The 3 supercluster cultivators were unexpectedly incapable of a breakthrough to get close to Huarong. Elder sister's coordination truly is admirable. Qing Qiao maturely sighed. She asked again, Elder sisters, are you truly unwilling to sign contracts? The 9th generation star duels already are something that the Azure Dragon territory cannot dominate, and our young master's identity will make you shocked. Have I concerned myself with what the identity of your young master is? Hua Wanyue indifferently said. The White Tiger 7 stars uprising. Are you truly unwilling to join us? Song Feng asked in the end. If you have the capability, do so by all means. Lin Yingmei disdainfully said. Then Qing Qiao shall offend you. Qing Qiao's delicate hand flicked, and the throwing knives were unsheathed. Blowing a deathly whistle, Lin Yingmei's spear swept. A cold wind rolled, sweeping everything down. A light arrow shot out from behind Lin Yingmei at the same time. Qing Qiao's figure flew. She pounced down, launching a throwing knife. The iron spear in her hand stabbed out at the critical moment. Her spear light was unexpectedly fierce. Golden Eagle devouring dragon spear, Wealth Star striking Hawk Li Ying. Nice to meet you. Lin Yingmei did not relent at all, her spear stabbing in opposition. Not only did striking Hawk Li Ying possess throwing knives and concealed weapons, she similarly possessed an even better spearmanship. Li Qingxiao's hand shook out countless spear images, her power flowing down. Dark Technique. Bright Mind Eagle Dragon. Bright Mind Eagle Dragon. The Wealth Star stabbed with her spear, however, in several breaths' time, that dazzling meteor stepped over a distance of more than 5 zhang, directly arriving in front of Lin Ying. Precisely following the light, the shape of a golden dragon appeared, as if it had been carved. Spear light and killing intent mixed, like a knife thrust into a heart. The golden dragon stabbed, drawing an ice-cold line in the air. Soundlessly, with even the stabbing motion unable to be clearly seen, a blinding light already appeared before her. A crisp slamming noise. Quickly whirling around, shaking, Lin Yingmei used the Arctic Star Serpent Spear, continuously evading backwards. Again and again, she warded off the Wealth Star's attacks. Just when it seemed that the Bright Mind Eagle Dragon was about to prevail, Li Qingxiao's spear stabbed, thrusting towards Lin Yingmei's forehead. An arrow light intercepted, directly knocking Li Qingxiao back. Mie Shangqing and the others seized the time while Li Qingxiao was entangled with the majestic star. For the first time they wanted to break through, but they suddenly heard Lin Yingmei's cold snort. Majestic Star Pantherhead's hands gripped the shaft of her spear, its tip carrying snow. Her spearmanship suddenly became severe. That spear light seemed to extend 100 meters, cutting off that line of attack the group had. Lin Yingmei was like frost falling from the heavens as she raised her spear. As if the plains exploded with a thunderclap, she blew the 3 of them away. Then, the Arctic Star Serpent Spear abruptly slashed out a blizzard. The baleful aura wrapped around the edge of her spear was like terrifying pressure that opened a floodgate, suddenly launching in all directions, and the Li Qingxiao that was so close to her was too late to withstand. Immediately, she became the first victim. Like a shooting star, she was ruthlessly sent flying by the terrifying pressure. The first attack, no more than a warm greeting. The second attack, the spear tip already became as violent as a blizzard. The third attack, the blizzard blew. In the shadow of the fierce snowstorm, the spear rapidly pulsed. The spear's shadow was faster and faster, the ice-cold snowstorm killing intent whistling out of the spear. Layer rolled upon layer, unbridled at present. The main hull was frozen over. A northern wind blew along with her killing intent, as far as the eye could see. Behind the scattering blizzard, Lin Yingmei's eyes shot out a cold light. She suddenly gripped her spear. The shadows all over her body instantly concentrated above the spear in her hand. White and white combined, wrapping each other. This oddly gave rise to a harmonious mix, emitting an intimidating killing intent. At the same time of her long cry, the majestic star's final attack seemingly passed by like a meteor. Yellow rank spear technique, long blizzard nights. The blizzard-like spear technique was incomparably tyrannical in this space with a single move. She suppressed the four of them, and Hua Wanyue was very silent. Several dozen arrow lights simultaneously fluttered in the blizzard, practically blending with inconceivable accuracy into one with the snowstorm. Under the power of the spear wind, she struck home with a whoosh. After the snowstorm passed, in an instant, Shurjiao Ying's body was already consecutively struck by several arrows. This youth was surly, unexpectedly not falling over. Shurjiao Ying? Song Feng asked with concern. The youth sneered, using his star energy to expel the arrows stuck into him. Song Feng's expression was grim. He never expected the majestic star and hero star would be perfectly coordinated so far beyond his imagination. Attack and defense were in perfect balance, no trace to be found. This was the teamwork between two of the top 10 ranked star generals. His heart had the idea to retreat. Today, you absolutely will swear allegiance to this one. Mie Shangqing was unafraid, contrarily, even more excited. Killing Lin Chong is not necessarily unallowed. Shurjiao Ying showed a terrifying expression. Is he mad? Song Feng wrinkled his brow. Under Shurjiao Ying's indication, in spite of the injuries she sustained, Li Qingxiao's golden eagle dragon devouring spear advanced, once again using her dark technique. The other star weapon on her back, dragon-slaying throwing knives, also unleashed their dark rank, dragon stab. Several dragon-slaying throwing knives connected into one, their killing intent non-existent. Lin Yingmei's figure dodged. This direct evasion instantly rotated to in front of Shurjiao Ying. The youth with soaring killing intent was greatly startled. Before his flying swords could descend, they were knocked asunder by Hua Wanyue's arrows that were swift as thunder. Lin Yingmei's eyes showed ice-cold, as if she was responding to the youth's sluggishness just now. The Arctic Star Serpent Spear raised that practically gapless attack. Shurjiao Ying completely had no chance, however his reactions were extremely quick. His fingers snapped, drawing a green light. Vines rushed out of his chest, like 1,000 hands. The spear tip broke through. These hands were shattered. The spear tip cut open the air as it whistled sharply towards Shurjiao Ying's chest. Shurjiao Ying used a hasty step backwards to dodge, instantly leaving Lin Yingmei's attack range. His face was pale, already panting heavily. This supercluster middle stage star cultivator was actually not all appearance with no skill. The corner of Lin Yingmei's lips curled with a slight curve. However, to retreat in front of the majestic star, this much completely was not enough. Her spear thrust out. Killing intent appeared. Shurjiao Ying vomited blood. His body was knocked flying like a kite severed from its string. Shurjiao Ying. Li Qingxiao turned her head back in shock. Do not be too surprised. Hua Wanyue's voice warned her. Li Qingxiao changed. The heavenly hero Red Luan's heavenly fire descended, rolling over her attack. Hua Wanyue let go of her bow and arrow. Rushing herself in, she already arrived in front of the Wealth Star, with a red jade short spear in her hand. The Wealth Star did not underestimate her. She swept her spear, fast as lightning. Hua Wanyue's blood dance activated. That gorgeous blood-colored light blossomed in Li Qingxiao's eyes. Hua Wanyue danced, spry and lively, and the pouncing Luan was also incredible. Her innate skill was hovering combat. Her combat ability in midair was more formidable than when she was on the ground. One spear blocked with everything she had, defending Li Qingxiao's chest like a floodgate. The hero star's dark technique resisted endlessly, and it was Hua Wanyue who was even more surprised. Blood dance stopped. Li Qingxiao seized the spear and stabbed. Tapping the golden eagle dragon swallowing spear with her foot, the hero star flew gracefully, her arrowhead aimed at Li Qingxiao, killing intent about to erupt at any moment. The wealth star was stunned. She never expected the hero star could be so nimble. It was already too late for her to attack with another spear technique, even if she wanted to. Little Li Guang's bow was drawn into a full moon, arrow light concentrated to a point, enlarging in Li Qingxiao's eyes with a bang. There was a painful groan. Li Qingxiao was pierced by the arrow, falling to the ground like a butterfly whose wings were torn off. Hua Wanyue's brows wrinkled. She looked at the dragon-slaying throwing knives lodged in her shoulders. At the final moment, the wealth star was still able to unsheath throwing knives. This trick was formidable. Elder sister's archery still lacks maturity. Wealth star Li Qingxiao covered her face. Blood soaked her hands. Even having been penetrated by an arrow, Li Qingxiao still did not fall. It is too early to be complacent. Hua Wanyue bit on an arrow. What? Blood light fell from the heavens. Li Qingxiao lifted her head, and a short spear stuck directly into her body. This was unexpected. Li Qingxiao's silhouette promptly disintegrated. Shurjiao Ying's head sunk at the same time he was knocked flying by Lin Yingmei's spear. When Lin Yingmei's move utterly crushed Shurjiao Ying, Mie Shangqing also exploded with a powerful, intimidating air. His scorching, hot, murderous aura pervaded the entire hall. Ice and frost melted, and Mie Shangqing spat out essence blood that transformed into a beautiful red saber. A demonic chi whirled around the blade, roiling with dark fire. 3-star heavenly flame demonic imperial saber. Attacking for a long time without success, Mie Shangqing's heart was increasingly worried. The heavenly blade demonic imperial saber was tossed, activating its dark technique, demonic flame myriad calamities. 2. The heavenly flame demonic imperial saber's flames swelled, instantly becoming a menacing fire wolf. It tore apart the defenses of the heavenly hero Red Luan bird. Hua Wanyue hastily retreated. The demonic imperial saber perfectly slammed onto the forbid dance of the star-piercing arrows, bringing the array immediately to the verge of collapse. Nevertheless, the fire wolf had awareness. It turned its head and opened its maw. Just as it was about to bite, an ice-cold roar suddenly fell upon the fire wolf, extinguishing it with a whistling blade of extreme cold. It was Crying Frost, the heavenly wolf, the snow-walking frost-eye beast. Its wings of light opened, beating back the heavenly flame demonic imperial saber. A wretched scream. One of Shurjiao Ying's arms had been severed by Lin Yingmei's attacks. Flying swords used all their might in order to finally stop her advance. Song Feng saw that everything before him was already advancing in a dangerous direction. In actuality, after he had been ambushed from the very start by Hua Wanyue's arrow, Song Feng already felt that this path was extremely violent. Consequently, even when Hua Wanyue slayed his star general, even injuring him, he still tried to use good words to defuse the conflict. But, not to his surprise, the 2 single-digit ranked heavenly stars were not moved in the slightest by this sort of enticement. Now that Li Qingxiao had also entered the star nest, the situation was an imminent crisis. They would die if this continued. Let us go for now. Song Feng shouted. It's not over yet. Mie Shangqing was unwilling to give up at all. He caught the heavenly flame demonic imperial saber. Suddenly, he opened his mouth, and scorching, broiling flames rolled out. Precisely. Shurjiao Ying surprisingly agreed. 2 arms suddenly became countless vines, brandished like hundreds upon thousands of whips. Lin Yingmei retreated, landing next to Hua Wanyue. Her spear flashed with a cold light. The flames dispersed. Shurjiao Ying, Mie Shangqing, now is still not the time. Song Feng rebuked. Shurjiao Ying was taken aback. Arrow lights filling the sky descended, penetrating the defenses of the flying swords. He hastily protected himself with his arms, encasing his whole body in vines. Shaken, the arrows struck his body, the pain making him grimace. Sergio Ing saw that the more the pair battled, the fiercer they became, the more coordinated. Already he had the intent to withdraw. Hua Rong, this one is determined. Mie Shangqing was thoroughly muddle-headed. He read an incantation. His pupils suddenly turned large, burning with a scorching conflagration. His hair also enlarged, and from head to toe, his flesh seemed to be flooded with lava, flowing firelight. The air was scorching enough to choke people. Lin Yingmei and Hua Wanyue glanced at each other, showing bewilderment. Mie Shangqing, you've gone mad. Song Feng's expression changed. Lin Yingmei clenched her spear, not daring to be neglectful. Hua Wanyue drew taut her bowstring, ready to fire at any moment. Before their very eyes, an inconceivable scene unfolded. The red-haired man Mie Shangqing's whole body abruptly swelled several sizes, inflating as if he was an enormous bubble. Immediately afterwards, scathing scarlet flames were emitted. After a blinding red light flashed by, a seemingly hill-sized giant astonishingly appeared before their eyes. His outer appearance was that of a toad, his whole body a translucent flame, flickering with a lustrous gloss, particularly those toad eyes, which twinkled with an eerie light. This toad opened its mouth, oddly croaking two sounds. The tremendous sound wave overturned the entire hall. Thick flames shot out at all sides. Sky-burning toad. 3. The two of them immediately recognized this beast. A demon beast transformation Star Master. Hua Wanyue's expression was grave, having completely not expected such a change. Demon beast transformations in Liangshan continent were inherently rare, let alone one that became a Star Master. Just what the hell was this situation? Lin Yingmei did not care so much. So you turned out to be a group of man-faced beasts. Mie Shangqing's body in of itself was the sky-burning toad. It had cultivated 1,000 years in order to assume human form. For the sake of participating in the star duels, he had no choice but to suppress his cultivation. However, relying on the innate talents of a demon beast's own body and the spiritual power that had accumulated over the previous 1,000 years, how could a cultivator's cultivation compare? If it was not for the star duels, he long already would have reached supervoid cultivation. The him that became arrogant saw that he had been humiliated by the star generals, and he was immediately infuriated. He croaked. The main hall's hovering pillar of fire poured into his body. In an instant, the toad's whole body was a fiery translucence, as if he was a red-hot branding iron. He emitted a glaring ray of fire. The powerfully broiling temperatures immediately spread to all corners of the hall, as if everyone had been put into a stove. And the high temperature of the nearby surroundings of the sky-burning toad itself were shocking. Even the air let out a low humming haze. For high temperatures like this that originated from his abilities, the body of the average cultivator under this kind of temperature would perhaps have been baked by the heat, directly burned to ashes. Truly ugly. Lin Yingmei disdainfully smiled. Her ice-cold imposing air expanded. The air condensed into frost, blocking the corrosion of the high temperatures. Croak. The sky-burning toad's mouth roared. A beam of red light shot out from its mouth. Poochie! The beam of light split off into countless fire dragons along the way. The sky-burning toad's foreleg rose, then rushed from afar with a gentle slap. There was a rumbling tremor. Red lights and clouds rolled out from his front legs. Then it concentrated, forming a scarlet claw. This flame claw and fire dragon simultaneously slashed. This sky-burning toad was at least an 8th or 9th rank demon beast. The flames he emitted rolled about, a faint wind assaulting them in the face. The snow-walking frost-eye beast stood in front of its mistress. This crying frost heavenly wolf opened its mouth, spraying out a cold flame. That pair of light wings on its back were even more radiant. Any way it was put, the crying frost heavenly wolf was renowned on the star beast list, perhaps even taxing for a star general to face, but upon encountering a demon beast, the crying frost heavenly demon immediately let out its might. For a time, The ice flames and the scorching fire unexpectedly duels, putting the hull between the two extremes of cold and heat. Lin Wangmei gripped her spear, lowered her body. The Arctic star serpent spear's whole body was a shining ice cold. The star crest on her forehead glimmered. It appeared that Lin Yingmei was currently concentrating all of her star energy on ending this battle. Song Feng inwardly shouted that things were bad. Those like them would only reveal their true bodies as a last resort. Although their true bodies could allow their realms to become endless, it wasted great amounts of energy. Furthermore, Song Feng knew that against the teamwork of two heavenly stars unrivaled in close quarters and unparalleled at long range, even transforming into a true body would not necessarily seize the advantage. Song Feng hesitated some more. Nevertheless, he could only force himself onwards and blow out a green light. A gale magnified, and the sky-burning flames were immediately fiercer. The heavenly hero Red Luan let out a cry. It flapped its wings and pounced into the flames, battling alongside the crying frost heavenly wolf. The sky-burning toad's cheeks enlarged. Suddenly, it launched forwards, pressing down like Mount Tai. The powerful flames directly shook back crying frost heavenly wolf and the heavenly hero Red Luan. The sky-burning toad opened its mouth wide, aiming to swallow Lin Yingmei whole. Hua Wanyue continuously fired a barrage of arrows. They were unable to penetrate the flames, unable to stop the sky-burning toad. Yingmei! Hua Wanyue shouted. The rolling fire poured down with a roar, just like a torrential heavenly river of water that lingered in the main hall. Even Hua Wanyue was blown several steps back by this faint wind. Hua Wanyue shouted to herself that things were foreboding. Immediately, she prepared to use the 10,000-li god-killing arrow. Song Feng and Shijio Ying were delighted. The sky-burning toad directly suppressed the majestic star. Even Panther Head would inevitably suffer harm to her vitality, right? But a pinprick of cold frost pierced through the flames. Following a screaming cold wind, the flames were extinguished, layer by layer, unexpectedly freezing once more into a thick sheet of ice. Song Feng and Shijio Ying's smiles simultaneously froze. How could this be? Song Feng's pupils shrunk. A sparkling and translucent ice spear penetrated through the sky-burning toad's mouth. A cold star glimmered, freezing the insufferably arrogant sky-burning flames. The scene of the sky-burning toad suppressing the majestic star that Song Feng had imagined was completely nowhere to be seen. Before this huge toad's limbs touched the ground, it was ran through by a spear and hung in the air. Lin Yingmei lifted her spear with one arm, carrying the sky-burning toad. Her body released an ice-cold presence. The sky-burning toad froze, turning into an ice sculpture. The toad struggled briefly. Its eyes released a crimson light. The demon beast's unique spirit soul was about to escape. Lin Yingmei shook her spear. The sky-burning toad shattered, turning into countless shards of ice. A beam of extremely cold spearlight flashed by, rolling up that toad's spirit soul. The sky-burning toad shrieked several times. The cold light twisted, and he was shredded into ice chunks. Dark rank spear technique. Freezing frost of 9 provinces. Song Feng and Shijio Ying were shocked. Without thinking, they turned and fled. 10,000-li god-killing arrow. Hua Wanyue shouted. There was an air-splitting whistle, and an arrow carved a perfectly straight path of death. She heard a scream, and then all presences completely disappeared. Just as Lin Yingmei was about to go pursue, a sudden wind blew out from the mouth of the cave, just like 1,000 sharp swords. Lin Yingmei hastily backflipped. The moment she left, the place she had been was ground to pieces by a violent wind. When she looked again, both Star Masters had vanished without a trace. Never expected them to surprisingly be the White Tiger Territory's Star Masters. Hua Wanyue stared. She suddenly lowered her head, nearly unsteady. Lin Yingmei flashed over and supported her from the side. Apologies. Hua Wanyue powerlessly said. Consecutively using 3 dark ranks nearly drained her completely of strength. This appeared to be an overwhelming victory, but in fact, it was barely so. 3 demon beast-level Star Masters with 2 Star Generals. If it was not for her perfect teamwork with Lin Yingmei, She feared that today would honestly have been dangerous. Lin Yingmei shook her head. She looked at the 3 star-piercing arrows, leisurely waving her spear several times. The final forbid dance was tottering on the edge of collapse. Waving her hand, the 3 star-piercing arrows were then brought to her palm and given to Hua Wanyue. Hua Wanyue was stunned for a moment. A long while after, she nodded her head. I owe you a favor. In the future, if you have any requests, please feel free to ask. I absolutely will not decline. Your servant does not need any favors. Lin Yingmei directly answered. Seeing that Hua Wanyue already was completely spent, this place was not appropriate to linger in, and to let Hua Wanyue go alone was not safe. Who knew whether or not those 2-star masters would actually go home? Let us first go find an inn. You must rest properly. Lin Yingmei was cool as ice, but her tone nevertheless had a feminine warmth, which made people's minds ripple. Hua Wanyue's face blushed, and she nodded. Black Turtle Territory, an escape light flashed over the Black Turtle Sea. The quickness of the escape light's speed made other cultivators blown into a disarray without ever seeing clearly what it was. They nearly fell off their flying swords. Some cultivators even wanted revenges, but seeing the opponent unexpectedly seemed to step on clouds, without any devices, they suddenly turned pale from fright. They turned into yes-men, sealing their mouths very tightly and scramming. This escape light fled for more than a dozen arrows without stopping at all. A long while afterwards, a tall building that seemed to prop up the heavens appeared before him. The enormity of that building was such that he could see it from several dozen kilometers away. A majestic to the extreme and shocking imposing air pounced from far away. The escape light finally stopped, revealing the cultivator inside. It was none other than Su Xing. Ever since he obtained that information from Chai Ling, Su Xing rushed non-stop for the Black Turtle Territory's Devil Star Palace. The Black Turtle Territory was divided into the Black Turtle Sea, the 9 Dragon Sea, and the Endless Depths. The Black Turtle Sea was the largest, the 9 Dragon Sea was the most prosperous, yet the Endless Depths was a deathly sea that no cultivator had ever truly reached the end of. Furthermore, the Black Turtle Sea was vast, the local powers divided into considerably small fragments. Because of this topography, the entire Black Turtle Territory was quite desolate. Each island region was far from standing out as much as the Azure Dragon Territory. Su Xing did not have the mood to look at any of the scenery. However, the first time he saw such a magnificent building, he still was shaken. That mountain unexpectedly was an enormous building, constructed like the multi-layered cakes Su Xing had seen on Earth. Each floor had countless doors, revolving halls, and beneath the building was a similarly large-scale town. However, that city and this mountain compared to one another were truly different as the sky and earth. At the top of this mountain was built a 4-sided main hall. Black chi rolled about, enshrouding it in black clouds as a demonic wind blew. Devil Star City. Su Xing thought. This was the objective Su Xing came for this time. Devil Star Palace was Black Turtle Territory's #1 Great Devil Palace, involved with countless sections. Black Turtle Sea's apparently fragmented influence was practically enveloped in the Devil Star Palace's shadow, and this Devil Star City was the Devil Star Palace's main city. That gigantic mountain was Devil Star Palace. Su Xing released a flying sword, ingested a change appearance pill to alter his complexion, then flew towards Devil Star City. At this time, countless cultivators already appeared, either going out to sea or returning, or setting out on a journey with companions for a demon beast hunt, the scene of a busy group. Compared to the remote scenery along the way, the Black Turtle Sea seemed to be the most bustling area that congregated into this city. Flying forwards another dozen li, all kinds of lights in the sky were even more numerous. Some enormous sea ships even appeared beneath him, similarly braving wind and wave. What made Su Xing even more interested was that there were still some cultivators flying about in the sky without any defensive tools. Rather, whether they were piloting a small boat or riding low-level demon beasts, they all similarly sped forth on the sea. In addition, their cultivations were not low. Supercluster stages were seen in great numbers, and galaxy stages were even more ubiquitous. That the Black Turtle Territory was described by the Azure Dragon Territory as the grounds of the devil cults was not baseless. The majority of the cultivators here cultivated every sort of cultivation method labeled as heretical among the Azure Dragon Territory's cultivators. Also, the Black Turtle Territory had an extremely distinguishing characteristic in its abundance of demon pellets. These demon pellets were harvested from killed marine demon beasts, then refined into material for advancing magic energy. However, the ingestion of these demon pellets would bring harm to oneself, though cultivation could rapidly develop. In this marine world where dangerous demon beasts lurked beneath the surface, higher cultivation naturally was less danger. Su Xing took a deep breath, descending towards Devil Star City. Before he entered the gates, there were cultivators standing guard, inspecting the tokens of all those who entered. To enter and leave Devil Star City, it was necessary to obtain the Devil Star Palace's recognition of identity. These identities mainly came from the other sects under the banner the Devil Star Palace, and if one had a token, that indicated one was of the Devil Star Palace. The Devil Star Palace urgently commanded that these cultivators were not to obstruct it. Therefore, exploiting this sort position, the Devil Star Palace easily possessed at least a nominally large amount of cultivators. That they became Black Turtle Sea's #1 palace was not without reason, however. In Su Xing's perspective, the degree of loyalty these cultivators had was up for debate. Su Xing took out the token Chai Ling gave him. The cultivator inspected it, and then he made way. Entering the city, there were people everywhere, a mountain and sea of people, the same magnificence. Su Xing raised his head. He looked at the Devil Star Palace that was right before his eyes. Showing a slightly cold intent, he stuck on one of the supreme grade Dark Breath talismans, 3, that Chai Ling had given him, escaping towards there without the slightest hesitation. The Devil Star Palace was more heavily guarded than he had imagined. Since Su Xing activated the Dark Breath talisman, his presence had been hidden, but infiltration was still a difficult problem. Patrolling cultivators and guardian beasts were practically swarming. To infiltrate like this and not be detected was simply nearly impossible. After a while with no results, Su Xing found the closest he could to the Devil Star Palace. Finding one from where he could overlook the Devil Star Palace's position, he first went to investigate the situation. The waiter inside the shop was rather blunt. Having operated beside the Devil Star Palace for so long, he heard many a rumor and gossip. Of course, other than that these rumors made the Devil Star Palace appear even more frightening, they were completely useless. For example, the Devil Star Palace's Palace Master Devil Ancestor Dark Nether was already transforming Star of Annihilation, that the Devil Star Palace had more than a dozen Super Void level cultivators standing guard, that Great Saint Star Killer was the leader of all of the Black Turtle Territory's Star Masters and more. Of course, there was no lack of the most recent information within. For example, the Devil Star Palace recently encountered the Purple Thunder Monster in possession of the 10,000-year evil-suppressing gem bamboo and issued a warrant to chase and kill him. This shocked the entire Black Turtle Territory. However, this news was dubious to the Black Turtle Territory cultivators. The 10,000-year evil-suppressing gem bamboo practically subdued all devil cultivation methods in their entirety. This sort of divine item was hardly seen in the previous 1,000 years. 1,000-year gem bamboo was extremely rare, let alone 10,000-year. Besides, the Purple Thunder Monster had once overturned the entire Azure Dragon territory, with even the 10 great sects helpless. They never heard that he had the gem bamboo. The majority of all cultivators guessed the reason that the Devil Star Palace would issue these orders perhaps was because of Great Saint Star Killer. Great Saint Star Killer most recently could be considered the Black Turtle Territory's influential figure. An excellent Star Master at the peak of Supercluster, with the great General Guan Ying, head of the 5 Tigers. Such an unexcelled arrogant figure surprisingly suffered consecutive defeats. The Dragon Snake Great Good Fortune pills were submissively yielded to other people, making Devil Star Palace very furious, so everyone assumed Great Saint Star Killer was thinking of borrowing the 10,000-year evil-suppressing gem bamboo to get rid of the Purple Thunder Monster. However, even if he wanted to use it for his own ends, This was useless. Who was he kidding? The Azure Dragon Territory's 10 great sects had been rendered dejected and depressed by the purple thunder monster, having completely lost their reputation. Now that he even had the 10,000-year evil-suppressing gem bamboo, no one but a super-void cultivator dared to be arrogant. After understanding this information, Su Xing ordered a kettle of tea, pensive. "Waiter, has Great Saint Starkiller come out recently?" A calm voice suddenly came from a table. Hearing someone ask about Great Saint Starkiller, Su Xing turned his head. He saw two figures wearing cloaks sit 2 tables behind him, and he looked them up and down. From the voice and figure, they seemed to be 2 female cultivators. One was slightly older, the other about 8 or 9 years old. Su Xing gasped in shock. He could not see the appearances of the 2 women beneath their disguises, but that 8 or 9-year-old little girl sat on the table holding a children's book, the water kettle margin, looking through it with rapt attention, as if the surrounding scenery was completely unrelated to her. That expression actually made Su Xing recall a certain person. Could it be? As if sensing that someone was staring, the little girl raised her gaze. Su Xing dodged without leaving any traces, yet the corner of his eye did not relax his vigilance. That older woman chatted a while with the waiter, making the waiter's lips slightly twitch. Clearly, they were using sound transmission. The little girl nodded. She closed the book and descended the stairs. Walking past Su Xing's table, the girl shot him a glance. A moment later, the woman paid her bill and left the restaurant. Su Xing did not follow. A long while afterwards, the southeast area of Devil Star City erupted with an enormous noise. It shook the entire restaurant's customers, completely shaking them. They simultaneously crowded the balcony. A corner of the Devil Star Palace exploded. A massive 8-armed octopus demon beast surprisingly climbed out from the city. Devil Star City flew into a frenzy. Another instant later, 100 rays of black light flew out, attacking the octopus. That is the Emperor 8, 2, an 8th-rank demon beast. Oh, a dozen supercluster ancestors. Quickly go get a share of the action. There was no lack of galaxy stages among the spectating customers. They flew over on their riding swords. Although they completely could not face a demon beast like Emperor 8, enough ants could bite an elephant to death, which bolstered their boldness. It seemed that this was the first time Devil Star City had encountered a demon beast's emergence. The spectating crowds watched from the sidelines in heated discussion. One said that this Emperor 8 was not putting forth as much power as the sea-overturning wild dragon. An assessment of the Emperor 8 being destroyed used a bit of time. Su Xing indifferently sipped his tea, paying no attention to the surrounding conversations. When he finished his tea, he paid his bill and left. Each and every one of the pedestrians on the street all rushed onto the road to watch that gigantic demon beast battle with 100 cultivators. A screaming sound rose everywhere. Oh, the eagle carp have come as well. There are surprisingly 2 demon beasts, how rare. This time, the Devil Star Palace has met with a calamity. Why are there so many? The crowd discussed. Su Xing raised his head. Far away, he spotted an eagle-winged carp-like monster fish. It flew in the sky, and the 2 powerful demon beasts brought pressure to Devil Star City. Devil Star Palace also impatiently flew into a fluster. Hundreds upon thousands of sword lights shot out from the palace, a sight shocking for the eyes. Su Xing slightly smiled. His figure flashed. He took advantage of this chaos to sneak his way into Devil Star Palace much more smoothly than he had imagined. Truly, he ought to thank those 2 demon beasts that were good at understanding each other, or rather, a certain someone Ruan Mayer stepped onto the Anitya Dragon King beast. Her hands flipped through a picture book, expressionlessly watching those 2 demon beasts from 100 li away upon the sea. Having undergone her beast salivary incense lure, this was considered not a waste. Next is up to Elder Sister. Devil Star Palace's corridors were winding, tangled, and complicated. Due to the demon beast's sneak attack, people came and went all over the place inside, somewhat in confusion. To find Great Saint Starkiller in such a large palace ought not be difficult. Just as Su Xing thought of finding a maid for inquiries, He suddenly paused and ducked into a corner. He saw that the black-cloaked woman he encountered earlier at the restaurant had appeared inside the palace. Su Xing's eyebrows rose. Calculating in his head, he silently tailed her. He walked to an unoccupied passage. The girl suddenly turned her head, a pair of keen eyes sweeping his way. Su Xing hastily ducked to the side, stifling his breath. The girl actually was very perceptive. Mph. The girl softly snorted, immediately increasing her speed. Pausing a long time passed. Already, they came to the Devil Star Palace's top floor. At this time, the existences of other cultivators were practically unseen. The girl suddenly stopped. Su Xing saw that this floor had only one hall. Outside the hall stood 2 Black Armor's puppets as guard. Their levels appeared equivalent to Supercluster stage. And the gate had a flowing multicolored light. Clearly, there was a forbid dance. A pair of Supercluster puppets and a forbid dance. It seemed that the person residing within was not ordinary. Su Xing currently wondered what the woman would do. The other party walked out and extended a pointed hand. A green duckweed twisted out to attack. The 2 Supercluster puppets were surprisingly killed without the least bit of resistance. The girl took out a talisman and stuck it to the door. The swelling multicolored light seemed to be ice that met fire, and a large hole was burned through the door. The woman strode inside, easily entering the hall. Territory-breaking talisman. Such an extravagant style, it seemed she came prepared. Su Xing took this chance to follow inside before the residual power of the territory-breaking talisman faded. A relatively spacious room greeted his eyes. The room was constructed out of cold and fine jade, filled with a slight chill and lingering white mist. The room was very empty. Other than a moon palace screen, there was nothing else. The golden thread and jade clothes hung upon the screen actually would make one indulge in fantasy. Just as Su Xing thought this, a suddenly vengeful sneer erupted from behind the screen. "Guaning, today is your death day." "Not good." Su Xing was startled, rushing over without any hesitation. Fortunately at this moment, a white jade-like naked body flew out from behind the screen, slamming towards Su Xing. When Su Xing looked, it was astonishingly none other than the brave star Great Blade Guaning he strenuously searched for. The girl sensed there was someone behind her. Turning her head to look, she was surprised to see it was a man, and her expression sunk. "Die." Unable to bear it, Guaning was furious. A green rainbow twisted on her body, knocking Guaning flying. The sneering woman was Sword Star Tai Sui, who stands his ground Wanjina. "Hey!" Guan Ying's hand gripped her great blade and slashed, but she appeared extremely weak. This cut was nowhere near half strength. Ruan Jiner's eyes were filled to the brim with hatred. 100 flying swords emerged brilliantly, about to skewer Guaning. Su Xing did not dare delay upon seeing this. He promptly called forth the heaven-tearing flying swords. A golden rainbow flowed like water, completely intercepting Ruan Jiner's flying swords. Immediately afterwards, his figure flashed. Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder launched to block Ruan Jiner's slash. "You are not of the Devil Star Palace? Why stop me?" Ruan Jiner angrily said. "You can't kill her." Su Xing shouted. Let alone Ruan Jiner, even Guaning was shaken to hear these words. "Is your brain waterlogged?" Ruan Jiner shouted in disbelief. "Now that Guaning is currently weak, this is the best chance to kill her. Roll away from me." The azure sea green duckweed was tossed. The green rainbow did not enter, directly twisting Guaning. The great blade woman retreated, groaning as she was sent flying. Su Xing did not hesitate. With a quick stride, he rushed to catch Guaning. Guan Ying's blade slashed, the blade chi making Su Xing unable to help but stop. After that, Ruan Jiner followed by a hair's breadth. 100 flying swords revolved around, sparkling with multicolored lights. Totally shooting down, yet Su Xing blocked them once again. "Have you gone mad?" Ruan Jiner was infuriated. "I have something to request, Guaning. I can't let you kill her." Su Xing forced a smile. Star generals had a second death. The so-called second death was the first death after falling into the star nest. A star general would be recuperating, but if she were to again encounter death during the recovery process, there was a chance of star falling even with a star master. So star generals would be placed in the star nest or the immortal's abode to recover until a safe stage after falling into the star nest initially. Su Xing did not understand why this Guan Ying would break free of the star nest, to stay alone in this hall. By association with the guards previously outside the hall, it seemed this place had a certain mystery. I present to brave star Guan Ying a favor entrusted to me by Chai Ling. If you kill her, I will be very hard-pressed. Su Xing coldly said, not allowing compromise. The reason why Su Xing did not want to kill Guan Ying was only because if she died, there would be no way to save Zhang Yuqi. Ruan Jiner's expression could not make sense of him at all. We shall capture her together. Su Xing turned back his head. He looked at the threadbare Guan Ying and wondered whether it was because of the great blade she wielded, but the girl's skin was full, her body delivering gracefulness, particularly that pair of breathtaking slender legs. Just every step those wonderful jade legs took in battle left people with powerful and bold impression. At the crux of life and death, brave star Guan Ying did not have a girl's bashfulness. Her hands gripped her blade, her expression careful as she emitted an ice-cold chi, more imposing than a lion. In spite of her plump twin peaks and the brush of the hidden valley between her thighs, she was still so cold. This actually made the Su Xing facing her head-on somewhat not too acclimated. However, Su Xing was accustomed to looking. Flashing by, he said, Guan Ying, I have come this time to present to you what Chai Ling has entrusted me, to return to you the hopes of loyalty to righteousness, to fulfill your promise. Would this general believe you? Guan Ying was weak. She sneered. Su Xing threw out a black jade pendant without saying another word. Guan Ying caught this jade pendant and was astonished. You ought to believe me now. Su Xing said. Look out. Guan Ying abruptly shouted. The both of you can be buried with Pinger. Ruan Jiner angrily roared. The azure sea green duckweed let out countless green lights. Flashing out, they directly shot towards Su Xing's chest. Dark technique. Duckweed are broken. Ruan Jiner's execution of her killing blow was decisive. From the start, it was dark technique duckweed are broken. In the normal course of events, before one comprehended the earth rank technique, using dark techniques one would consume a lot of energy, but Ruan Jiner did not care at all. Green rainbows directly shot for Su Xing's chest, becoming several strands of green vegetation to wrap up Su Xing. Fortunately, duckweed are broken was not a single fatal strike at all. It used a lengthy process to constrict and then kill the target. Su Xing was bound. He used the Akala Wisdom King Golden Body, knocking aside the green duckweed with a golden lotus, releasing expansive Buddhist light. What Ruan Jiner wanted to kill most was Guan Ying. After duckweed are broken tied up Su Xing, she promptly raised a sword to kill her. Guan Ying wielded her blade. A 5-star destined weapon was formidable any way it was put. Even if Guan Ying's body had still yet to recover from the star nest, one slash was not something Ruan Jiner dared to face head-on, but Tai Sui who stands his ground's powers were perfect for resisting. The flying swords were broken. Ruan Jiner sneered, throwing out azure sea green duckweed. A green light rolled over. Guan Ying already was without an escape route. She was even already prepared for the next phase, when at this critical moment, Su Xing escaped to right in front of her. While Guan Ying raised her eyebrows, he picked up that pitiful body. A purple mansion immortal thunder exploded, delaying the azure sea green duckweed for a few seconds. Taking advantage of these gaps, Su Xing carried Guan Ying away. Azure sea green duckweed returned to Ruan Jiner's hand. Tai Sui who stands his ground emitted a bone-chilling aura. Her hatred was like the sea. Just who the hell are you? This is a matter of our star duels. Do you want to interfere? Terribly sorry. Su Xing could understand Ruan Jiner's enmity, but Guan Ying absolutely could not die, at least for the time being. Very good, then you can go die together in the name of love as a damned couple. Ruan Jiner shouted. Su Xing inwardly sighed. What was this? The Guan Ying he absolutely had to kill at the moment was unexpectedly being protected by him in a curious turn of events. Be careful. Su Xing whispered. Guan Ying's eyes were indefinitely gloomy, not uttering a word. Ruan Jiner formed a hand seal, and flying swords descended. Su Xing's heaven tearing was powerful. Ruan Jiner's 100, even thousands, of flying swords were trapped by golden light. Death sentence beheading. The azure sea-green duckweed once again rose, slashing towards him from the front. But this time, Su Xing did not take action, but Guan Ying already blocked in front of him. Her completely naked and perfectly beautiful jade back was considerably wide. Even if the famous brave star Great Blade was extremely weak, how could she hide behind a man? Su Xing inwardly shook his head. Was Guan Ying just or evil? If it was said she was evil, then this action honestly made Su Xing give her a whole new level of respect, endlessly moved, but if she truly was a top-notch martial general, then she absolutely would not have a clear conscience using the abilities of the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone. Idiot! Su Xing lightly cursed. Not outside of expectations, the death sentence beheading was deflected by the 5-star Great Blade, but the surplus green light was still fierce. Fully falling, Guan Ying's skin was immediately splashed with bloody cuts, nearly forcing her to a knee. Die! Ruan Jiner truly hated her to the bone, attacking without any mercy. But an iron shield blocked the 4-star azure sea-green duckweed. Ruan Jiner was greatly surprised, for there unexpectedly to be a magic weapon capable of blocking her 4-star attack. Seeing that shield was just like a dam, glowing with mysterious black light, with profound flower patterns and an array, the azure sea-green duckweed fell. The shield let out a bang that was heavy as a mountain. Even Ruan Jiner felt this shield was practically a mountain. This shield was known as Gen Wu Shield, a magic weapon Tang Lianxin forged using leftover Gen Wu Divine Iron. Courting death. Ruan Jiner shouted. She continuously slashed with swords, the serene green sword light sprinkling. The Gen Wu Shield's divine light radiated. Gen Wu Divine Iron was inherently a unique and firm spirit iron, and a magic weapon that had undergone Tang Lianxin's refinement naturally could not be underestimated. Even Ruan Jiner's 4-star destined weapon was helpless for a time, but the green light was like the duckweed of a river, increasingly thick. The Gen Wu Shield could not possibly resist forever, no matter how much more powerful it could be. Su Xing spat blood. A blaze refining 9 Hells saber appeared in his hand, and he seized this to attack. Ruan Jiner was not at all a true martial 4-star general, but the Sword Star's flying sword arts were superb. The azure sea-green duckweed that sprinkled easily was not something an ordinary Star Master could contend against. Seeing Su Xing's charge, she sneered, treating him as courting death. She raised a sword and advanced. The azure sea-green duckweed rippled with a green light, just like green duckweed in the sea, dispersing an ice-cold mist. The next instant, Ruan Jiner's green light seemed to have been blown by the wind, pressuring towards Su Xing. Su Xing's heaven tearing was entangled, his Gen Wu shield blocked. His hand attacked with earthly chi, defended and used light smoke dance steps. He attacked Ruan Jiner, bringing an afterimage unexpectedly behind himself. Ruan Jiner slightly felt shocked. Sword light already slashed. She was able to sidestep in time, but her hair that was thin as silk still was severed by a length. Hairs fluttered in all directions, and in the instant the chaotic scene was blown over by a powerful wind, Ruan Jiner's second wave of attacks already arrived at the critical moment. Each of their attack exchanges made Guan Ying transfixed. At such close quarters, the attacks of the two completely left no room for interference, leaving even Great Blade in awe. Unexpectedly, there was someone who could contend against Ruan Jiner. Ruan Jiner evidently did not want to waste too much time. After withdrawing, azure sea-green duckweed once again manifested a green rainbow. The green fog enveloped Su Xing bang. Su Xing surprisingly threw himself over without surrendering. Bang bang. The glistening yellow earthly chi protected his body. Innumerable green lights brushed past Su Xing from both sides, like a great sea parting upon encountering a boulder, but the ocean wave's powerful surge made the Earthbook's defensive abilities tottered on the edge of collapse, the unbearable feeling making Su Xing stifled, flipping his internal organs. His figure stepped forward, like a sharp blade directly sticking into her heart. Ruan Jiner showed a shocked expression. That mountain and ocean overturning strength made Tai Sui, who stands his ground, somewhat unprepared. How is this possible? How could a Star Master have an intimidating aura that would make even a Star General tremble? Swordlight attacked. Ruan Jiners reacted. Instantly, she lost her balance. Before she landed on her back, she still nimbly used several backflips to quickly pull apart the distance between the two of them. The instant she stood firm, she already made her defensive preparations. Furthermore, Su Xing's attack flowed even more smoothly, quick as lightning. In an instant, Ruan Jiner's defenses were broken. Arcs of purple lightning jumped about Ruan Jiner's shirt. Even if it was only the instant the attack made contact, Ruan Jiner still could sense that a power incapable of being blocked had entered. However, after the amazement passed, those cold eyes did not show any quivering as a result of this. Ruan Jiner sneered, attacking. Can't you just stop this time around? Ruan Jiner. Su Xing asked her. The answer was, you daydream. An unstoppable flame of fury flit across Ruan Jiner's eyes. Her words immediately replaced the blossoming green duckweed swordlight. I did not come here to play with you. Confronted with Su Xing's beyond reasonable battle sense, Ruan Jiner once again pointed, and once again, 1,000 flying swords appeared from nowhere. The flying swords gathered, slashing with full power at her opponent. Su Xing's body techniques made Ruan Jiner have a sort of annoyed display. When he evaded, Sword Star Tai Sui, who stands his ground, sword rose and slashed at the same time. Su Xing abruptly accelerated his speed, and an offensive magic weapon flew out. An indistinct blue cold light assaulted her directly, carrying a heavy pressure. Ruan Jiner had yet to react. That magic weapon's edge was already right in front of her. Ruan Jiner's green duckweed left her hand at the same time. Thereupon, the two of them were incapable of retreating. The clear squeezing sound of the swordlight that the green duckweed was formed from was ear-splitting. His arms were practically numb. Su Xing had retreated at the critical moment, taking a step back, yet everything seemed to have been anticipated. Endless ice cold encircled him from all directions. The Sword Star's countless flying swords already were before him. This is embarrassing. Su Xing was inwardly surprised. His palms clapped together. The Zhenwu shield enlarged, blocking 1,000 flying swords and a beam of green duckweed. The explosion was enormous. Su Xing nearly vomited blood. His body involuntarily flew backwards. When he looked again, the Zhenwu shield had already been damaged in its first battle, struck down by the Azure Sea green duckweed, finally concluding its first and last ever use. So powerful. Su Xing's heart shivered. Cheating couple, go be buried with Pinger. Ruan Jiner irascibly shouted, seizing the chance to stab with a sword. But Guan Ying's blade blocked it, shaking off the Sword Star. The person you want to kill is only this general. Guan Ying answered. Exactly. Ruan Jiner grinned. Devil Star Palace's Taboo Main Hall. Currently, Great Saint Starkiller half knelt under a platform, respectfully not uttering a word. As before, Devil Ancestor Dark Nether was separated with a black partition. The air had the sound of shackles and also a slightly annoyed fury. Defeat. Another defeat. This was testing Devil Ancestor Dark Nether's patience. Even without using any words, Great Saint Starkiller felt a burden heavy as Mount Tai on his shoulders, heavy enough to make him bow and bend at the knee, to nearly wish for death. How many times do you wish to be defeated? Devil Ancestor Dark Nether spoke, his voice neither fast nor slow. A droplet of cold sweat flowed on his forehead. Great Saint Starkiller grit his teeth and said, Devil Ancestor, disciples' defeat this time has shamed Devil Ancestor's teachings. The Boundless Bells Array has already been transferred to you. The 9 Nether Devil Star Stone has also helped you perfect the first devil weapon in the world, Great Saint Starkiller. Right now, you should be able to traverse Liangshan unhindered. Disdain for renowned heroes is what should have been. The one lecturing him was Ming Dai. Great Saint Starkiller's defeat sounded honestly somewhat unimaginable. That such power could lose, the Star Masters of these star duels were monsters. To have lost the dragon snake great good fortune pills, even 100 deaths would be unable to compensate for you incompetence. Ming Dai snapped a finger. A black butterfly beside Great Saint Starkiller's body gently flew out, flapping its wings of eerie light. Great Saint Starkiller's expression changed, and the color drained from his face. Fortunately, these netherworld butterflies were merely flapping as they wished. They had yet to use the ability that frightened people, netherworld fantasy powder. Disciple ought to die. Great Saint Starkiller could only say this right now. A not at all satisfied sneer. It appears, Great Saint Starkiller, that you and Guan Ying are becoming the most incompetent Star Master and Star General. Shall I congratulate you? Enough. Devil Ancestor Dark Nether interrupted Ming Dai from further mockery. Ming Dai apologized. Now that things have reached this far, we are powerless to reverse the situation. Too much excoriation is also meaningless. Devil Ancestor, but Great Saint Starkiller's loss of the dragon snake great good fortune pills actually is making me wary. Who knows if he was not deliberate about it? Ming Dai smiled. Disciple's heart is bare and would not dare have disloyalty. It is extremely good you can say this much. Silent for a while, Devil Ancestor then asked, How is your Star General, Guan Sheng? Guan Ying was killed back into the star nest. For the purpose of making her recover quickly, she is currently in the Devil Palace's Huaqing Pool, 2-4 care. Ming Dai answered for him. Devil Ancestor Dark Nether muttered for a while. Ming Dai understood tacitly. She berated Great Saint Starkiller. Great Saint Starkiller, our Devil Star Palace has wasted much effort to raise you. You had best not die a third time. We shall give you one more chance. In the 3 heavenly books, if you disappoint Devil Star Palace once more, do not think that Maiden Mountain can save you. Disciple does as you bid. Great Saint Starkiller deeply bowed his head. In his eyes there was hatred. In his sleeve his knuckles turned white. Great Saint Starkiller pretended very expertly. When he raised his head, the fury in his eyes already changed into devoted reverence. Then she lectured Great Saint Starkiller patiently and sympathetically. Devil Ancestor Dark Nether suddenly interrupted them. What is the situation unfolding outside? The confused Ming Dai and the other 3 law protectors looked at each other. Very quickly, one of the law protectors walked out, and then he very quickly returned. Reporting to Devil Ancestor. There are 2 demon beasts, the Eagle Carp and Emperor 8. Devil Star City's cultivators are already capturing them. Truly strange. How can 2 types of different demon beasts be drawn over at this time of year? An extremely elderly man of the 4 great law protectors spoke, his voice very hoarse, somewhat with like a flickering candle in the wind. They are probably lost. A large man's voice was rough. Several demon beasts were not enough for him to care about. The Black Turtle Territory's sea area was vast, and the demon beasts in the depths were numerous. Sometimes, a countertide occurred, some demon beasts would be drawn over, or perhaps if there was a sort of spirit grass, like the ascending dragon fruit that the ascending dragon city's palace had planted, that could make demon beast cultivation increase by several hundred years, then many high-ranked demon beasts would be enticed. This was not odd at all. Ming Dai, go check Guan Ying very quickly. It is possible this is a trap. Devil Ancestor Dark Nether said in a low voice. Ming Dai was taken aback. She immediately understood the Devil Ancestor's meaning. Great Saint Starkiller's expression also changed. He urgently wanted to go see Guan Ying, however, he forcibly suppressed this urge. Ming Dai watched Great Saint Starkiller's pious reverence, her eyes holding a slight sneer. Truly an obedient dog. What a pity he still needs chiding. Ming Dai's body turned into butterflies, scattering. Heavenly Commandment, Elder Dried Bone. 2. You 2 go assist Ming Dai. Devil Ancestor Dark Nether commanded. A scholarly youth of fair complexion slightly nodded his head. Without saying a word, he disappeared into empty space. That spindly as dried firewood old man's eyes burned with fire. His figure also instantly vanished. Great Saint Starkiller did not see their body techniques clearly, and his heart was shocked. This was a supervoid cultivator. He had thought that his own supercluster peak and supervoid were only a step apart. Now, it appeared that one step was the difference between heaven and earth. Starkiller, with Ming Dai, Heavenly Commandment and Elder Dried Bone, you need not worry about Guanyin. Devil Ancestor Dark Nether calmly said. Disciple does not dare. Great Saint Starkiller answered very sincerely, although an impulse to leave had just flashed through his heart. This taboo hall was left with only 3 people. The final seemed to be a large man that was like a boulder, known as Merciless Stone Devil. 3. Step forward. Devil Ancestor Dark Nether continued to speak. Great Saint Starkiller was in fear and trepidation. A dim light appeared on the platform, as if pulling apart the screen, partitioning a separate world. Great Saint Starkiller knew that there were 9 firmaments devil star chains and evil smiting arrays strewn about. He walked past several platforms. There was still a distance of about 100 paces from Devil Ancestor Dark Nether. The light faded, and Great Saint Starkiller was unable to take another step forward. Great Saint Starkiller felt this was strange, and upon closer inspection, his surroundings pervaded with a sort of odd pressure. Faint golden light glinted from time to time. This pressure really did not come from the difference in a supervoid cultivator's intimidating divine intent, rather, a sort of very pure and direct, clearly visible and substantive power. Great Saint Starkiller immediately felt that under this formless power, he seemed to have been restricted. The prehistoric spirit treasure on his person was silent, making Great Saint Starkiller feel even more shocked. This is the 5 Spirits Magic Metal Scroll Heavenly Book's great power, earthly extreme metal light first magnetism, that this one has cultivated. There is no need for you to be surprised. Devil Ancestor is unsurpassed for all time. Great Saint Starkiller kissed up to him. There is no need for your pleasant words. This one has raised you for the purpose of comprehending the path after transforming Star of Annihilation. Devil Ancestor Dark Nether said. Great Saint Starkiller's heart was shaken. This meant that Devil Ancestor Dark Nether truly was breaking through Supervoid level and entering Transforming Star of Annihilation, and he was even possibly at the bottleneck to Transforming Star of Annihilation. Liangshan's countless cultivators were all unable to break through to Transforming Star of Annihilation. This one does not have much time left. The only possibility to break through to Transforming Star of Annihilation is solely to use the wish of Maiden Mountain Star Duels. Pausing, Devil Ancestor Dark Nether apparently wanted Great Saint Starkiller to digest what he said. You must know the significance this has for this one? Disciple has shamed Devil Ancestor's kindness. Disciple is truly guilty and deserves 10,000 deaths. Great Saint Starkiller showed true fear this time. 3 heavenly books. This one shall give you another chance. A voice rose from among the chains behind the screen. A point of golden light flew out from the screen. It was a small hill. This golden magnet divine peak is a magic weapon this one has meticulously refined. It contains the power of the extreme earthly metal light first magnetism within. This one bestows this upon you to confront the purple thunder monster's evil suppressing gem bamboo swords. Many thanks to Devil Ancestor. Great Saint Starkiller was delighted. Taking out the life-cast powers and magic weapons of Transforming Star of Annihilation cultivators, it was obvious that Devil Ancestor Dark Nether was staking everything on him. This ancestor now confers to you the chant. Remember it well. At the same time, this one shall teach you the Metal Scroll's powers. Your learning is superficial. In the future star duels, there will also be benefits. Disciple shall tread through water and fire to obtain the heavenly book for Devil Ancestor. N. Sit straight for now, listen to this ancestor's chant. As you command. Great Saint Starkiller sat cross-legged, settling in. In his mind, a golden light immediately radiated. His inherent last bit of concern for Guanyin vanished like smoke under this power and chant. Ming Dai, Heavenly Commandment, and Elder Dried Bones rushed for the Huaqing Pool Palace that Guanyin was at, their figures seemingly flying. Ming Dai, you appear to still dislike Great Saint Starkiller. Usually unable to leave Devil Ancestor, Elder Dried Bones stated his thoughts. Ming Dai did not cover her disdain at all. Great Saint Starkiller is no more than a stinking brat who walked upon unexpected success. The very year he joined the palace, he was a cripple. As if his fortune today was not through relying on our patronage. This brat is now increasingly rebellious. How can he conceal that tiny thought from me? Even so, Devil Ancestor still has use for him. His cultivation is at the peak of supercluster, truly admirable. I just feel angry about this. So it was envy. Heavenly Commandment cast a sideway glance, and he imposingly spoke. Just to remind you, Great Saint Starkiller's Star General is Guan Ying. After the 3 heavenly books, you and I will be unable to deal with them sooner or later. At that time, if Great Saint Starkiller remembers today's humiliation, you cannot regret it. Ming Dai laughed aloud, the sinister chill in her eyes even more warped. If he makes a move, that is even better. 1,000 years of Maiden Mountain, I have long wanted to pulverize this pretentious arrogance. Could it be you are deliberately enraging him? Elder Dried Bone laughed. Devil Ancestor perhaps will not be pleased. Ming Dai charmingly smiled. Elder Dried Bone, Heavenly Commandment, your words are just wrong. A Star General as unruly as Great Saint Starkillers ought to have someone act the strict parent to warn them of their place, their status. Ming Dai is merely acting as the strict parent. If Devil Ancestor truly blames Ming Dai, then he can blame. How can Ming Dai be unbridled? So it turned out to be this. The both of them nodded. It looked like not only Ming Dai, but also Lord Devil Ancestor Dark Nether both eyed Maiden Mountain's Star Generals covetously. This old man, what flavor of Star Generals this old man's, marrow-devouring great array, has consumed. Elder Dried Bone pursed his lips, his eyes showing an excited light. This is not simple. The 3 Ruans have possibly sneak attacked. If that is the case, then we shall leave one of the 3 Ruans for you to taste, Dried Bone. They took the initiative to attack this palace. Maiden Mountain will not say anything. Ming Dai sneered. Then it is settled. The 3 great supercluster cultivators hurried towards the Huaqing Hall. Furthermore, at this time, Su Xing nevertheless was inextricably entangled by the berserk Ruan Jina. Heaven Tearing was surrounded by Ruan Jiner's 1,000 flying swords. Sword Star held the azure sea green duckweed and attacked. Su Xing felt a slight chill spread from his neck throughout his whole body. When the green rainbow exploded, Su Xing activated the golden lotus flower to finally withstand this. If it was against the defending Sword Star, she would only die even more quickly. A thought flashed through Su Xing's mind. His body slightly leaned, and while he swayed, his right leg ruthlessly swept towards Ruan Jin. At the same time, he made the ice-cold floating duckweed result in failure, but the next second, Ruan Jiner's palm slammed onto Su Xing's body. Sent flying at the same time, Ruan Jiner quickly forged onward, not giving Su Xing any chance to catch his breath. The Su Xing floating in the air dodged by a hair's breadth. His long leg swept upwards like a sickle, accurately striking Ruan Jiner's shoulder and making that heavy body lose her balance. Su Xing suddenly noticed that after having gone through that battle with the black-clothed woman, regardless of his own speed, reactions, or power, there were massive improvements. That woman was a monster who appeared out of nowhere, and to be this powerful, she made Su Xing's battle doctrine rise another realm. Ruan Jiner never expected the man before her could keep up with her own tempo. She was but matchless 5th stage. Even if she was not a pure martial general, she was not something an ordinary Star Master could keep up with. Ruan Jiner coldly advanced. Su Xing once again kicked back. This landed on the azure sea green duckweed sword, and borrowing that massive recoil force, he turned his graceful position in midair into a somersault, then landing steadily on the ground with both feet. Fuck off! Ruan Jiner tossed the green duckweed, attacking. Su Xing's hands pinched together, sending Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder to counter. Immediately afterwards, his figure flashed, and like a falling meteor, a golden lotus lingered around his whole body. He appeared to be solemn. From when he sped up rising to when he fell attacking, the entire course of events was no more than 2 seconds. The words quick was incapable of describing this. Bang! There was a world-shaking noise, and the air was ripped apart. Su Xing furiously shouted, and a giant Buddhist palm mark pushed out. Scatter! Green duckweed flashed, penetrating the Buddhist palm. The green light flew directly toward Su Xing. Just the instant Su Xing's defenses were broken, the sword star did not stop her pace. With a stride, her left hand clenching her right wrist, within practically a second she was already in front of Su Xing's eyes. So fast. This time, Su Xing's awareness was unable to keep up with Ruan Jiner's revolt. An incomparably surly green wind exploded from her palm. Azure sea green duckweed boomed, leaving him dizzy. The green rainbow unfolded, like a giant maw, about to envelop Su Xing's body. There would be no chance to withdraw, flee, or even defend, an imposing aura that seemingly wanted to pulverize Su Xing in order to finally rest. Su Xing was powerless. His martial force had long reached a dead end. As expected, a powerful heavenly star like the Sword Star was not something he could face when she was truly angered, but that he could persist for this many minutes made Su Xing very satisfied. Just when he was planning to use the earthly book and four-symbol seal, Guan Ying stepped forward to help Su Xing. Just at this moment, Ruan Jiner's expression changed. An unresigned resentment appeared in her eyes, and she glared directly at Su Xing. You will regret not letting me kill Guan Sheng today. Letting you kill her is what I'd regret. Su Xing shot back. Ruan Jiner took back green duckweed, sneering at the naked Guan Ying. Guan Sheng, your private rendezvous, you have completely lost everything today, haha. Saying this, Ruan Jiner hastily used several talismans. The talismans dispersed, and the sword star subsequently vanished. Not good. Super void cultivators have come. For the first time, Guan Ying's expression changed. Regarding the chapter's title, Caught in the Act, is like it sounds. A couple has been caught cheating in an illicit affair. The extraordinarily mighty Guan Ying panicked at this time. She subconsciously covered her chest, but in that battle, Guan Ying had completely revealed her details. What Su Xing should have seen had already been seen. At this time, this practically was unnecessary. A powerful surge suddenly shook the room. Super Void Cultivator. Su Xing also turned grave, wondering to himself just whether or not he had luck with the ladies or the misfortune of love affairs. To inexplicably and unexpectedly save Guan Ying, on the contrary, was enough. Now that the Devil Palace's Super Void cultivators had been drawn over, if he was seen, Su Xing recognized that other than using the jade pendant, he had no other ways. What do we do? Su Xing asked her. Looking around the room, it was truly clean to the point there were completely no hiding places. Other than a screen that could block him off, there were no places to duck into, but to have Su Xing just use the jade pendant like this, he was very unreconciled. Just saving Guan Ying left him very unreconciled, and now he was to use the jade pendant because of her. Su Xing truly wanted to curse the heavens. Did someone goof somewhere? Didn't he only see Guan Ying's naked body? This price was too severe. Do not come in. Guan Ying shouted. You do not have the qualifications to order us. From outside came Ming Dai's sneer. Seeing the grin beyond the forbid dance, Guan Ying's face turned pale as she retreated backwards, her whole body shuddering. How could she ever accept that the grand brave star would unexpectedly be seen with a man spending alone time together, besides being in a terrible mess? The word got out, the brave star would rather die. Seeing Guan Ying's panicked eyes were red, Su Xing was helpless. This room's forbid dance was too powerful, and he completely had no way to flee. The main gate was pushed open. Cold mist diffused everywhere, and the room actually appeared to be in an array. Ming Dai and the others were stunned to see this scene, astonished. Not daring to be careless, should something truly have happened to Guan Ying, they would bear the blame. Do not come here. Guan Ying's cold voice came from behind the screen. Heavenly Commandment and Elder Dried Bone looked at each other. They obediently retreated beyond the door to check if anyone had escaped. Ming Dai closed the doors and gazed at this disorderly scene. There seems to be the scent of a man and woman in the air. Ming Dai walked over towards the screen, not at all caring about Guan Ying's warning. "Do not come here, this general is not covered." Guan shouted. "Guan, you sound a bit worried. Could it be you are secretly meeting a man?" Ming Dai suddenly burst in, shattering the screen. The sight before her immediately stunned her. She saw only Guan reclining in the bathtub, her legs folded to the side. Her hand held a towel she used to wipe her body. Those plump peaks of hers did not enter the water, making Ming Dai look on with extreme envy in her heart. Guan coldly looked at Ming Dai, her pale cheeks somewhat flushed, but her eyes extremely robust, like iron. Ming Dai was taken aback. She looked at the surroundings and sniffed. She played with a black butterfly with her finger. There definitely was the scent of a man just now. How has it instantly disappeared? Are you alone? Ming Dai asked. Need I wait for you all? Guan sneered. What happened just now? Ming Dai walked over. The skin of Guan Ying's whole body was involuntarily stretched taut. Her legs clamped, unexpectedly displaying an attack stance. That first-rate martial general's expression stabbed just like a knife. Ming Dai subconsciously stopped. We are both women, there is nothing to be ashamed of. Do not approach this general. Guan Ying's tone sunk. Although Ming Dai was very disdainful, she nevertheless knew these star generals could not be provoked for the time being. Seeing the waves of the tub, Ming Dai felt somewhat odd. Glancing over, her gaze just so happened to fall on the spot between Guan Ying's legs. Past that spot of clear water, she could see a patch of black underbrush. Oh, this chief of the 5 tiger generals Guan Ying is honestly lush down there. Guan Ying's face turned thoroughly red. Her legs clamped together, and a jet of water broke Ming Dai's line of sight. This, Huaqing water, is but very precious. Do not be too arrogant just because it is being used for the sake of your recovery. Ming Dai stepped back. Her eyes looked at this extremely messy place that was without anything peculiar. Ming Dai shook her head. It appeared that she was oversensitive. I shall help you increase your guard detail. No need. Guan Ying declined. Can you leave? This general does not like someone watching from the side. As you wish. Ming Dai did not want to look either. Each additional time she looked at Guan Ying, those absolutely slender jade legs and plump jade peaks made her even more jealous. For what reason did these star maidens innately possess such stunning looks? Could it be that no one knew this would increase the level of beauty on the streets in Liangshan continent needed to make someone blurt out, "Why is every woman I meet a beauty?" The hall's doors closed. Guan Ying seemingly flew out from the Huaqing pool like lightning. With a whirl, she landed. She draped herself in a general's cloak. Her hands wrapped it around her, covering her body's sensual sights. The water in the bathtub parted, and a man took a deep breath as he climbed out. It was none other than Su Xing. The two looked at each other. Su Xing sneered. Guan Ying's face was red, her eyes cold. Thinking back to the situation just now that was truly suspenseful, just as the supervoid cultivator was about to burst through the doors, Su Xing was prepared to use the chaotic tail escape to force his way through. The good and bad of Guan Ying's reputation was the only reason why he did not care. Who was he kidding? He should be thanking the heavens to be able to save her once already, to burn incense and worship Buddha, and to even think of her reputation. He still was not so smitten to this degree. But Guan Ying nevertheless would not be this willing. If she and a man were discovered naked together in the bath, the insult to her own self if word was to get out was small, but the shame to the brave star's name would be most severe. For this reason, Guan Ying instantly stuffed Su Xing into the bathtub. No mistake, that Ming Dai did not see Su Xing was because Su Xing was already hiding in the bathtub. While Ming Dai and Guan Ying spoke, how could this supervoid cultivator ever have thought that Su Xing was currently squeezed between Guan Ying's legs, obscuring his figure? That lushness was actually none other than Su Xing's hair. Guan Ying would never have dared to think about this kind of intimate position. However, the brave star was different from any other girl that Su Xing had seen. In fact, Su Xing had encountered quite a number of alluring and erotic ones, but regardless of however many, each woman had her own, different reaction. Anger, indignation, bashfulness, or pleasure, there was always an emotion, But Guan Ying was different. She acted as if nothing happened, carrying on her conversation. Even if the bathtub space was so narrow she had no choice but to shamefully allow Su Xing to kneel, her own secret place had been placed right under a man's nose, so close even that the top of his nose and lips were stuck on. She could even feel his scorching breathing. "If you speak of this general will kill you." Guan Ying's threat appeared utterly devoid of power. As if Su Xing would speak of this. What would his wives think? Even he knew this. "I won't change our positions just because of this," Su Xing coldly said. Guan Ying nodded. Compared to extravagant promise or the consolation of sweet talk, as far as words were concerned to the brave star, this sort of determination to fight to the death was more convincing. Therefore, the two of them believed their own lies. Nothing had ever happened, other than that faint blush on Guan Ying's face that was still incapable of abating. "What matter has Chai Ling entrusted you to seek out this general for?" Guan Ying changed the topic. Su Xing recalled his purpose and sternly said, "I want to take a soul from your Devil Star weapon." "What?" Guan Ying was astonished. "White stripe in the waves Zhang Yuqi was cut by you, and her soul was taken by the 9 Nether Devil Star stone to be refined into a Devil Star. I've come to take it." Su Xing already made his preparations to take it by force. So long as Guan Ying said the word no, then he would take action. Guan Ying nodded. Zhang Yuqi, that sister who surprisingly protected her own elder sister, the brave star had a very deep impression of her. The 9 Nether Devil Star stone is surprisingly even capable of this? You're the contractor, could it be you didn't know? Su Xing sneered. Guan Ying's eyes showed grief, then her expression was ice-cold. She waved her hand, and the great blade flew over to Su Xing. "Take it yourself if you can." Su Xing wrinkled his brows. It seemed that what Chai Ling was right. This brave star actually had been truly deceived, but recalling her conduct and deeds, he could not help but itch to kill her. Su Xing took the purple brilliant moon-slashing blade. His divine intent swept across it, and he immediately felt acute pain. Such a powerful devil weapon. The 5 devil stars flowed like a river. A glance was enough to give anyone chills. "You're just fine using this kind of weapon?" Su Xing was stern. Guan Ying was silent. Su Xing shook his head. Urging on his divine intent, he very quickly found a weak devil star. This devil star was currently in a chrysalis. Su Xing's hand grabbed it. Concentrating Buddhist light, he struck it. Endless Buddhist light was imbued into the devil star. He dripped with sweat. Guan Ying expressionlessly watched his actions. "You are the purple thunder monster?" Guan Ying suddenly knitted her brows. The devil star finally shattered under Su Xing's catalyst, and a soul floated out. The soul nurturing wood received it, and Su Xing immediately heaved a sigh of relief. Seeing this terrifying devil star of surging killing intent, Su Xing tossed it back to her in disgust, as if he would feel nauseous for it spending another second in his hand. "You'd best not use it. The price of this devil weapon will make you turn into a puppet for killing people. Don't tell me that the brave star wants to become this sort of machine?" Su Xing sneered. "Your naked body was bared in front of me just now. Doesn't that humiliation pale in comparison to becoming a walking corpse?" Guan Ying said with hatred, "Of course this general knows. If you have a way to dispel this 5-star devil weapon, this general would not hesitate at all to do so." "You're actually thinking of this?" Su Xing was taken aback. Guan Ying heavily nodded her head, resolute and decisive. "I'll go ask Chai Ling for you." Su Xing thought. To be able to help dispel the 5 devil stars on the destined weapon, and to be able to help Guan Ying repent and mend her ways, to step onto the journey of the star duels was actually not a bad thing. "This general thanks you." Guan Ying apologized. Her cloak slid off, revealing her body. Su Xing fake coughed, and Guan Ying's ears again flared with fire. Su Xing aimed and shook the soul-nurturing wood at the comatose Zhang Yuqi. The soul was subsequently sucked in, and Zhang Feiyu hastily used the mind-setting grass to brew mind-setting water that she poured into Zhang Yuqi's mouth. Zhang Yuqi slightly groaned, and her body calmed. Her pale complexion showed color. Su Xing looked at the birth treasure outline again. Her status was currently fading slowly away. Su Xing, truly thank you so much for this. Zhang Feiyu said gratefully. Thank Chai Ling. If it wasn't for her, I couldn't have possibly helped Zhang Yuqi take back her soul so smoothly. Su Xing shook his head. Either way, Chai Ling is your woman anyways. Zhang Feiyu blabbered. Su Xing and Chai Ling were somewhat embarrassed. When will little sister be able to awaken? Zhang Feiyu asked. This will require a few days' time. Chai Ling replied. Dear husband, is there still something on your mind? Hunyangzi saw that Su Xing's brow was tightly locked, so she asked. Su Xing stared at Hunyangzi. He hesitated. In the end, he smiled. It's just that I spotted Guanyin was weakened and didn't kill her. I feel that I've let wife down. Hunyangzi smiled. She shook her head in understanding. Dear husband need not be troubled. Dear husband had received elder sister Chai Ling's trust. If you killed her, you would have broken your promise with elder sister Chai Ling and have become despicable person. Guanyin. Nyangzi definitely will personally kill her, in order to rid the hatred in Nyangzi's heart. Saying these last few words, Hunyangzi was extremely cold. Chai Ling slightly sighed. Su Xing looked at her, and a peculiar glint flashed through Chai Ling's eyes. Liked it? Chai Ling, Guanyin wants to get rid of the Devil Star. Su Xing spoke of Guanying's request. Get rid of the Devil Star? This palace shall go investigate. Chai Ling nodded. Does that brave star Great Blade Guanxing want to dispel the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone? Shi Yu was astonished. She actually is not very bad. Even so, this does not make up for what she has done. Zhang Feiyu coldly snorted. Hunyangzi's eyes were filled with hate. Su Xing patted her shoulder. Hunyangzi knew his kind intentions and showed a sorrowful smile. It would truly great if the stone can be removed. We will have an even greater chance the next time we confront Guansheng. Shi Yu said. The 5-star Great Blade actually was too defiant of the natural order. Before the 4th phase began, she was already very difficult to face. Only if they had their own 5-star divine weapon could they possibly be a match, let alone that the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone weapon was too terrifying. One slash was fatal. Uncontracted star generals would starfall into the blade, which was truly hair-raising. However, if Guanyin truly removes the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone, that moment will be the time she starfalls. Zhang Feiyu chuckled. Is she not afraid of starfalling? Rather than suffer and become such a sinner of a brave star, how is starfall not a means of freeing herself? However, a contracted star general is not allowed to do this. Chai Ling muttered. Only she herself could know a question like this. Deep night, cool clear water, a full moon. Su Xing sat in his room refining that frost flame. The bean-sized frost flame again was several sizes larger and even more concentrated. Perhaps it could battle a star general after a little more time. The Gong Sun Huang in the star nest still needed a few more days to be able to recover. Recalling the Huaqing pool that Guanyin used to quickly recuperate, Su Xing also pondered whether or not he should take some precautions, so as to avoid long times waiting uncomfortably in the star nest. Su Xing walked out of his room. The heavens were adorned with myriad stars, the moon bright as a mirror. Calculating carefully, it should be mid-autumn over on Earth now. Su Xing reminisced. Although he was already accustomed to fighting on all sides from his time in the military, deploying to peripheral regions and not being home for the whole year, that Su Xing could adapt so quickly after coming to Liangshan was because of this reason. But people were not plants. Who could be so ruthless, to even now from the very first star duel want to obtain the wish to go back? A year passed in the blink of an eye, and then a century seemed to pass. Su Xing noticed that he was already incapable of bringing himself to separate from Lin Yingmei and the rest. Naturally, he had no capability to mention of returning, and he had unconsciously changed his wish from the star duels to helping the beautiful girls accomplish their long-cherished dream of finally ending the cycle of the star duels. Boundless and vast, staggering along, through the bumps in the road, through the ups and downs. In his distraction, Su Xing discovered that he had already changed, Longing welled up in his heart, and he suddenly recalled an army song, a song about goodbyes that were too late. Maybe I was too late to say goodbye that day. I'm already stepping into the ranks of battle. All of my thoughts are bound in my backpack, and my army sack has tied up all of my conflicts. Gazing at the barracks is a short silence. The dove that flies over is reluctant to part. I hug my rifle tight against my chest, my gaze calmly staring at the plains. Maybe I was too late to say goodbye that day. Faraway kin, maybe you can understand. I was too late to say goodbye that day. To shout out the motherland, which is also so dear. The army song was loud and resonant, piercing the tranquil night, carrying a slight sadness that nevertheless did not let anyone feel sorrow. The Liangshan continent had never had a song conquer the Great Circle Castle. The half-drunk, half-awake Kong Ho was suddenly a bit sober. The charming Chai Ling stroked the three-eyed wealth-inviting beast, her eyes half-shut. Shi Yu was entranced. Zhang Feiyu thought, where did this evildoer come from? Completely going against the traditional modes of Liangshan continent's music, yet it was also composed so emotionally. Little sister, quickly wake up and see your man. Su Xing stopped singing. Only then did he feel he had been too passionate. He saw that the Great Circle Castle was absolutely silent, quiet enough for people to feel shaken. He wondered if he had disturbed everyone. The affairs of man are complicated, happy with time, sad when losing it. I know only that the purple seal cord is noble. I do not feel this is a dream of golden millet. 2. Recalling that dream of golden millet line from the verse, Su Xing disdainfully smiled. The door opened, and Su Xing turned his head back. Hun Yangzi wore water-blue palace dress. Like mist, she daintily entered the room. Wife, what are you doing this late? This cliché phrase sounded rather ambiguous. Hun Yangzi gently closed the door, taking Su Xing aback. Dear husband, something heavy is on your mind? Hun Yangzi walked over. I'm sorry I've let you down. Su Xing smiled. Hun Yangzi slightly shook her head, sitting directly on the bedside. Red clouds flew across her cheeks, and her beautiful eyes rippled. Hun Yangzi laid upon the bed. The girl's curves inherently were beautiful, and she was wearing a short skirt, underwear like water blue shirt. Please see original profile for Hun Yangzi. 3. Muslin streamers, the figure underneath faintly discernible. Light clouds left the mountain peak. Her hair sprawled chaotically over the bed, and her chest was half exposed. The bright star closed her eyes, burying her head into the pillow. She gently bit her red lips, quietly laying there. Wife! Su Xing walked over. A watery fragrance assailed his nostrils, more beautiful than a butterfly, more clear than snow. Su Xing had even thought that Hun Yangzi was uncomfortable. He subconsciously reached out his hand to touch her forehead. Immediately, he felt that he had done more than was needed. How could a star general have a fever? However, Hun Yangzi suddenly fell onto the bed, her silence making Su Xing slightly worried and bewildered. Does dear husband not wish to ask Nyangzi about what happened that night? Hun Yangzi whispered. When she said this, Su Xing grunted. Why didn't you resist? Is it because I'm your contractor? Hun Yangzi shook her head, her long eyelashes shuddering. Because Nyangzi has embraced her resolution for inevitable death. What? Su Xing was shaken. Ever since Wang Ying was star-fallen by Guan Ying, Hun Yangzi forced a contract onto dear husband for the purpose of avenging her. Afterwards, Nyangzi learned that dear husband already has an elder sister he dearly loves. Hun Yanzi's voice was tender. Every sentence, every word carried a loneliness that made his heart hurt, an unlimited melancholy. Nyangzi only feels that she has exploited dear husband quite despicably. Nyangzi does not have the face to see the other elder sisters. So at that time, Nyangzi has decided to leave dear husband after revenge has been achieved, to not compete against the elder sisters, to not star duel against the little sisters. So that night when I was drunk, when I treated you as Ying, you didn't resist because you wanted to lose the star nest for your starfall? Yes. Hun Yangzi opened her eyes. Her pupils were limpid, and she soft, yes, hiding grief. Yes, my ass. Su Xing glared at her, lowering his voice and rebuking her. You're too foolish. How could you think to do such a folly? Could it be you absolutely want dear husband to say, how can I live if you die, before you're satisfied? Dear husband, Hun Yangzi muttered. You, Ingmei, Xinjie, Xiao Yuaner, Suan, Little Huang, Little Yi, Tangting, Lianxin and the other girls. You, all of you, every single one of you is a treasure in dear husband's palm. Even when some bullshit mountain becomes a plain, when heaven and earth merge, dear husband will never leave any of you. Seeing Hun Yangzi's distress, Su Xing was even more hurt. He reached out and wiped away the tears in Yangzi's eyes. Nyangzi knows. The moment Nyangzi saw dear husband risk his life to protect her, Nyangzi truly wanted to say, dear husband is so foolish. Hun Yangzi said softly, her arms wrapping around Su Xing's neck, bringing Su Xing's head towards her chest. But Nyangzi truly loved that so much. Her feelings burst out, surging out like a tide. With no need for any more words, all of her sadness, loneliness and loss were concentrated at this moment into a total outburst. The two of them embraced and kissed, deep and intimate. Although she had already been this intimate with Su Xing once before, that time, Su Xing was in the middle of a hangover, dizzy, treating her as Lin Yingmei in a state far from as lucid as he was now. How could Hun Yangzi endure such a provocation? She only felt a burst of dizziness, allowing Su Xing's lips to plant on top of her cherry-red lips. The girl opened her mouth and sucked in his tongue, extended her snow-white arms to hold his neck. Su Xing also drew the young girl's glossy lotus tongue in. The blue underwear was gently undone. The smoke-like skirt was peeled off. Maiden Mountain's most beautiful star general was bashful tonight, presenting her most beautiful aspects for the one she called dear husband. She wore white silk beautiful stockings that had yet to be pulled down. That shallow valley trickled with a stream. Hun Yangzi gently moaned. Her hands wrapped around Su Xing's neck, and her jade legs clamped around Su Xing's waist. Her body stuck to his. White shoots gently rocked, and a red plum pierced her heart. Wife! Su Xing could not endure. He let out a moan his last question. Hu Sanyang was shy against his chest. Her secret valley opened, and her legs wrapped even tighter. Su Xing needed Hun Yangzi's lower lips. He straightened his body and entered her, her tight walls making the both of them unable to help but moan. He ultimately reached her deepest softness without stopping, and she gently moaned in urgency. Hun Yangzi's whole body was even more stiff. Their bodies practically were fused together. Hun Yangzi began to shake her waist, bearing Su Xing's attack. She looked upwards, her bewitched eyes looking at the half-moon and starlight beyond the window, as if crying or sobbing about her hidden feelings. Su Xing let out tender gasps. His hands forcefully grabbed her breasts, squeezing Hun Yangzi, launching an oppressive offensive. Her melancholy began to change. A flood spilled into her deep valley. The moonlight outside was embarrassed and covered by the passing clouds. A poem once said, "Beautiful jade bone, faintly ladylike, draws half an erotic sight, as if seeing something slightly shy. Infatuation washes over the soul, continuous feelings are eager, petals freely dance sadly, the knots of her skirt join for her lord's gentle shot." 5. Several times afterwards, Hun Yangzi already switched positions and was straddling Su Xing's body. Her body laid resting atop his chest, quietly enjoying this passion. Su Xing's arms linked around her supple waist. His hands grabbed the front of her underbelly, and he rested his chin on her shoulder. He narrowed his eyes as he quietly savored the taste after their passion. The girl's body had the subtle scent of that midnight fragrance. He felt every inch of softness on the girl's whole body. Every woman loved to be embraced tightly by her partner after climax, to feel this true bliss. What was the song dear husband sang just now? Is there another stanza that you did not sing? Hun Yangzi peacefully asked. Do you want to hear the next part? N. Su Xing sang softly into her ear, maybe I was too late to say goodbye that day. I secretly folded the family book, instantly remembering my lovely hometown. So fond was I of that new moon, at this moment, how fine the world is. Longing accompanies me on the eve of the fierce battle. I use my life to decipher war and peace. My rifle pushes through a chest full of blood. A decorated boat floated on the river with a swaying lantern. On the sea outside of Devil Star City, a remote and fragrant pleasure boat floated on the ocean. The maids on the boat were like clouds, their hands holding swords, their clothes fluttering about. Standing against the wind, they made all cultivators who looked turned dumbstruck. However, not one of these devil cults or devil sects dared to be impudent. The boat had a banner upon which was written the two words, Great Circle. A cultivator with only even the slightest amount of experience knew who the master of this boat was. The master of the Great Circle Castle, Noble Star Little Whirlwind Chai Jin. The Star General who inherited 9 generations of Noble Star wealth and power possessed influence and riches that Liangshan Continent's sects would all drool over. However, the Great Circle Castle was hidden in a secret place. Up until now, no one was able to guess just how many cultivators stood watch over it. Chai Ling, just how many cultivators does the Great Circle Castle have? Inside the boat, there were beautiful decorations, scarlet rugs, furniture of every kind, all made from superior mahogany, sandalwood, and eaglewood. There was the faint and pleasant smell of wood permeating the entire boat. The 4 walls hung several ink paintings of landscapes, with grandeur and majesty, with elegance and brilliance. The image stood out on the paper, and a glance showed each of these originated from the hand of a renowned artist, their values priceless. Jinji and Yuye stood nearby. They steeped Cloud and Mountain White Robe, Creek Well Dragon Eye, and Phoenix Fermiana Bay Leaf Teas, 3 of Liangshan's supreme grade tea leaves. Each leaf was worth 1,000 gold. The entire interior of the boat was full of the tea's fragrance. Su Xing sighed that the wealth of Chai Ling's Great Circle Castle could reach heaven, and he was unable to help but be curious how great the influence of the Great Circle Castle was. Other than the state of the Great Circle Castle, this palace does not know. Elder sister does not know? The Hun Yangzi sitting nearby was skeptical. The Great Circle Castle has 108 leaders under its banner. This palace has no interest at all and does not pay attention. Chai Ling lay atop her sofa, charmingly rolling out her arm. The curves of those smooth and round peaks were highlighted under her milk-white bodice. The 3-eyed wealth inviting beast mewed atop her bosom. This generation's noble star Chai Ling had a lack of interest in managing operations. She treated wealth as nothing more than a number. To little whirlwind Chai Ling, this was honestly very tedious, thus she did not exhaust energy wishing to participate in the star duel. To become the first noble star to scale Maiden Mountain was interesting enough. The queen gave Su Xing a lovely glance. Why would you care about this palace's influence? I'm very curious as to how it's lasted for 1,000 years. Su Xing smiled. Xinger's question makes this palace feel very curious. Chai Ling gently fanned her golden thread feather fan. Her snow-white legs poked out from within her skirt. That was enticing. Su Xing recalled Hunyangzi's jade legs from last night. His heart somewhat stirred, and he continuously drank a mouthful of the Cloud and Mountain White Robe to calm his mood. This Cloud and Mountain White Robe had a mind-calming and a chi-nurturing effect. As far as cultivators were concerned, this was a great supplement. Chai Ling's fan covered her red lips. Last night, Xinger certainly was truly romantic. Cough, do you like to eavesdrop? Su Xing was speechless. A coincidence. Last night, Chai Ling heard Su Xing's song and felt very refreshed and specially want to listen to more, but when she walked to his door, she contrarily heard the mellow intercourse of a man and woman. At that time, Chai Ling was thoroughly red and embarrassed. What a pity Su Xing did not see her spiteful appearance. This palace wonders how many of the sisters have given their virginities to Su Xing? Chai Ling stroked the cat in her bosom. Her words made Jinji and Yuye unable to help but stare at Su Xing in shock. Su Xing dryly laughed, only sipped his tea. Chai Ling's charming gaze carried a smile, as if she was saying, "You honestly were pretending to be pure to this palace's face." Suddenly, the boat gently rocked a moment later. Su Xing set down his cup. Even if he did not see, he could sense that someone had boarded, and this person's leg strength was powerful, for a light step to rock the boat. A beautiful figure whose whole body was obscured with a cloak walked into the boat. Taking off her cloak, she was a dignified and mighty woman. Her stature was tall, and she brimmed with power. She was brave star Great Blade Guansheng. Upon seeing Guansheng, the hatred in Hunyangzi's eyes was full. Her hands clenched tightly, nearly pouncing. Su Xing tenderly held her hand. When Hunyangzi saw her dear husband's concern, she kept silent, her anger calming enormously. Guanyin glanced at Hunyangzi. She naturally had full view of her anger. The brave star was silent, and then she glanced at Su Xing, particularly at their holding hands. Then she walked over and sat down on a mahogany chair. "Elder sister Guanyin, are you well?" Chai Ling lifted herself from laying on the sofa. The previous matter at Evil Smiting Hall, insignificant. This is very common in the star duels. Who let Guanyin also have her own contractor? Chai Ling was actually very open-minded. Guanyin was silent. This time, Guanyin had come alone, with Great Saint Starkiller nowhere in sight. "You haven't recovered yet?" Su Xing saw Guanyin show slight fatigue. It was no wonder. Although the Huaqing pool could extremely accelerate recovery, fighting 2 battles consecutively in such a short time, Guanying's recovery was difficult. That is not important. Can this devil star truly be broken? Guanying cared about this. Ever since she learned from Su Xing that the power of the Crimson Star fell outside of the killer when the 9 Nether Devil Star stone weapon killed a sister, that a different kind of power did not fall into Maiden Mountain and instead became a Devil Star, Guanying now felt disgust when saw her divine weapon that had once shook the world. The brave star already was impatient to get rid of the Devil Star. The Black Turtle Territory's endless depths has an island named 9 Hells. That place can dispel the Devil Star. Chai Ling answered. Endless depths, 9 Hells? Guanying nodded. The Endless Depths was the Black Turtle Territory's most terrifying sea area. It passed through the 9 Dragon Sea, and the 9 Hells was an even more dangerous place in the Endless Depths. That place purportedly had a bottomless trench. Legend said that this led directly into a Een world known as 9 Hells. Although it was not too likely it actually led to the Een world, it was possible for the 9 Nether Devil Star stone to be removed at the 9 Hells. Guanying, have you considered this carefully? Chai Ling asked. Before completely recovering from inside the star nest, to go now to a place as dangerous as the 9 Hells, a starfall is possible. The queen warned her. So long as we can return the sisters' souls to Maiden Mountain, even if this general must cross a mountain of daggers and a sea of fire, this general will not hesitate to jump in. Guanying righteously said. Hunyangzi sneered. However, the 9 Hells will take a long time to reach. What about Great Saint Starkiller? Su Xing asked her. Devil Ancestor Dark Nether has most recently been instructing Great Saint Starkiller in an ability. He is currently cultivating. This general has made it known she is recovering at the Huaqing pool and made other people unable to disturb. 4 or 5 days is not a problem. Guanying had finished her considerations. After all, any way this was looked at, she had a hint of eloping with Su Xing behind her own Star Master's back. This made the uprighteous brave star somewhat awkward. Thus she snuck out. Su Xing though, no wonder Guanying had even concealed her appearance just now. This palace will take you to 9 Dragon Sea, but afterwards, this palace cannot participate in the star duels and will be unable to lend her strength. Chai Ling said, This general thanks you. No need to mind. Chai Ling smiled. Her queenly finger poked the 3-eyed wealth-inviting beast. Hu Sanyang, if you want to kill this general for revenge right now, what complaints could this general have? Guanying saw that deep hatred in Hunyangzi's eyes, aloof. How can Yangzi and you be the same? Only after you return the sisters' souls to Maiden Mountain will this wife and you have a star duel, to settle life and death. Hunyangzi's tone was resolute. Fine. Guanying was stern. How is White Stripe in the waves now? Guanying asked. Her elder sister is looking after her. She'll be better in a few these days. Su Xing calmly answered. Guanying nodded. Knowing the situation about her own status was awkward, She said nothing more. Valley of Empress Hua. Wu Xiyo, and Suen, and Yen Yizhen's appearance in the valley made the 1,000 cultivators of the 10 great sects astonished. Particularly when she saw Harm's star pilgrim Wu Song, Nangong Xing was even more unable to restrain her anger. Without another word, she let loose her flying swords. Wu Xiyo elegantly stepped forward, her figure weaving her way through, shaking apart the flying swords. Instantly she arrived next to Nangong Xing. The noble frost demonic lotus sword's light flit by. Nangong Xing continually retreated, only finding a chance to breathe after tossing a magic weapon. The Most High Path's other disciples attempted to provide support, but they were easily broken into disarray by Yen Yizhen's boxing. Even if some flying swords and magic weapons could luckily pass through, they could not escape the jaws of Ensuwen's green hurricane. When Nangong Xing saw her side was completely not an opponent, she was immediately unsightly. Although she had super void cultivation, she did not have the confidence to contend against the 4-star Wu Xiyo, let alone there were unexpectedly 2 great heavenly stars. Fellows, what are you still waiting for? This Yen Qing and Endao Quan are perhaps the Purple Thunder Monster's star generals. Nangong Xing shouted. The other sect's ancestral masters continually had spectating appearances. No one moved a finger. After all, Wu Song and the Most High Path had the greatest enmity. That they themselves offended the Harm star honestly was not too smart. No one was stupid enough to go do anything to a 4-star Wu Song. On the contrary, they watched Nangong Xing and Wu Song battle, their hearts watching her fire burn from across the river. They were eager for Nangong Xing to die in the process against a star general, becoming more and more excited. By the time next year's Alliance of 10 conference convened, they could pull the Most High Path down from its high horse. Ancestor Longevity, Xian Jinzi, Lady Ice, Fire Dragon Boy. Nangong Xing said each of the ancestors' names, her tone even colder. It appeared she was preparing to threaten them. Your sects all have star masters. If you wish to seize the key moment in the star duels, is it fine to let them go like this? The ancestors of the 10 great sects looked at each other. These words attacked their weak spot directly. Golden light fell. A Qilin appeared in the middle of everyone, and a powerful force made all the cultivators change expressions at seeing this Qilin. You star masters wish to work together to bully Shower's little sisters? Shower will play with you. Strength Star Jade Qilin Lu Xiao brandished her golden Qilin lance, slightly blinking, pointing directly at Nangong Xing, Lu Junyi. Nangong Xing gnashed her teeth. You also wish to interfere with my sect's personal grudge? Shower does not care for your grudge, but if you want to bully Shower's maiden mountain sisters, then you will have to pass through Shower first. Shower's figure moved. The Qilin radiated golden light. What a maiden mountain sister, truly not placing us in her eyes. Nangong Xing grinned evilly. Fairy Nangong, it is better to leave things be. The Purple Thunder Monster is not present this time. Do not involve third parties in settling your personal disputes. Why not wait for the Purple Thunder Monster until then? Ancestor Longevity advised. Very much so. Xian Jinzi and the others echoed. Nangong Xing knew that relying on these trash supercluster cultivators to face 3 great heavenly stars was completely a dream. With Lu Junyi's meddling, the original 50-50 situation was gone, and Nangong Xing had no chance of victory. Wu Song, tell that Purple Thunder Monster, the 10 great sects will never let him go. Nangong Xing left merciless words and immediately escaped. The Most High Path's people immediately followed. The other sect ancestors smiled in embarrassment and promptly left as well. Facing these scattering cultivators, Wu Xiyo and the others were in total lack of interest to pursue. Su Xing's troubles truly are big. Lu Xiao laughed. Not worth a mention. Wu Xiyo pursed her lips, an ice-cold reply. Guan Ying has disappeared? Devil Ancestor Dark Nether said in a low voice. This information reached Great Saint Starkiller's ears from Ming Dai's mouth. Even he was dumbstruck. Yes, Devil Ancestor, Ming Dai sought Guan Ying for inquiry. When Ming Dai noticed she did not answer for a while, Ming Dai went to look, only to discover Guan Ying had already disappeared. But it appears there are no traces of fighting. She seems to have run away. Ming Dai respectfully replied. Why would Inga run away? Great Saint Starkiller's face was unsightly. Her injuries should not have recovered yet. You ought to answer this. Ming Dai sneered. Ming Dai, you and the others immediately go find Guan Ying. This one fears she has gone to the 9 hells. Devil Ancestor Dark Nether spoke. 9 hells. The brave star looks to be thinking of destroying the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone. Great Saint Starkiller, you go as well. You should properly discipline her. Devil Ancestor Dark Nether calmly spoke. Any success requires a price. This ancestor does not hope to see Guan Ying not bear even this little bit. His words were very indifferent, but Great Saint Starkiller nevertheless sensed a blade at his back, as if he could go to hell should he utter the word, no. Disciple obeys. Great Saint Starkiller assented. To think of going to the endless pool to destroy the Devil's Stone before she even completely recovered from the star nest, she honestly is outrageous. Ming Dai smiled. Several days afterwards, at the center of the 9 Dragons Sea, rising Dragon City Market Square, a boiling cauldron of voices. Outside the market square, a blood-sweat-silver-hair horse attracted the continuous gazes of cultivators. 2 women rode together on the horse. One was wrapped in a cloak, obscuring her appearance and figure, but her eyes were full of might. Her whole body emitted an extraordinarily menacing chi, making people cower. The other woman appeared much more easygoing. She wore an ocean blue underwear-style shirt and skirt. Her ribbons fluttered about, and the girl's expression was clear and brilliant yet hid a deep sadness. She made people unable to help but feel pity for her when they saw this. But the surplus of sadness in the young girl's eyes similarly carried a spirit of dignity. Although Rising Dragon City was not large, 2 beautiful women appearing still attracted the astonishment of cultivators and passers-by. Seeing their seemingly idle appearance, among them that water-blue woman's eyes that still carried a hint of expectation, as if she was waiting for someone, some cultivators could not help but be somewhat envious of whoever had such great fortune to be able to obtain the affections of these 2 gorgeous beauties. Not long after, the answer was made clear. A youth walked over, and the girl dressed in revealing clothes immediately moved over. Clearly, she was waiting for this person. This youth was considered attractive, particularly his supercluster middle-stage cultivation that made these envious cultivators only able to be speechless, to retreat a bit. Dear husband, have you found it? The water-blue woman asked, without a doubt. This man and 2 women were Su Xing, Hunyangzi and Guan Ying. Chai Ling took them to the vicinity of the 9 Dragons Sea. Due to the Black Turtle Territory's sea area being too large, Su Xing could not clearly grasp the location of the Endless Pool. Su Xing took the time to search for the way to the Endless Pool while they were at Drawing Crane City. It will probably take a few more days. Su Xing counted on his fingers. In this case, the limit he had of more than a month with Lin Yingmei and the others was just about over. At that time, settling Guan Ying's 5-star devil weapon would be just in time to gather for the Bright Moon Longevity Palace. Then we must go quickly, Guan Ying urged. The longer they delayed things, the less successful they would be. Right now, it was possible that the Devil Star Palace had already discovered her absence. If Great Saint Starkiller caught up to them and used the contractor's ability of command enforcement, so long as the command did not go against the Star Maiden's interests, Guan Ying could not refuse such a command. If Great Saint Starkiller actually catches up, what do we do if he objects to your destroying it? Su Xing asked her. After that, you will always obey that man's orders to kill us sisters to amplify your power. Hunyangzi sneered. Guan Ying did not wish to discuss this matter, merely staying silent. Hunyangzi was quite hateful, really wishing to slay this weak brave star great blade at this moment. However, recalling the devil weapon, she still restrained herself. Wife, your star weapon already has 4-star? Su Xing asked Hunyangzi. Yes. Along the way they passed market after market. Earthly Star's upgrade to 4-star required only 16 pieces of precious stones or very easy-to-find materials. This place just so happens to have a trade fair. It won't take too long to go take a look, Su Xing said. Because he remembered that the time for Maiden Mountain's trials was impending, and without any more time left to go find high-quality materials to advance star weapons, Su Xing thus would first go take a look whether or not there were star weapon upgrade materials as they passed through these island markets of the Black Turtle territory. Hunyangzi's 4-star Golden Wind and Morning Dew thus was upgraded over these few days. Although Guan Ying was urgent, she had no reason to oppose. As the Nine Dragons Sea's largest island market, the place the Nine Dragons Palace was located at, the extremely large Rising Dragon City was the largest trade center in the Nine Dragons Sea, and perhaps in all the Black Turtle territory. The market was very large. Both sides were filled with halls and buildings, row upon row as far as the eye could see. Ever since they came to the Nine Dragons Sea, the Black Turtle Sea's Great Sex and even the Azure Dragon territory and Vermilion Bird territory were rather upstaged. Perhaps in terms of scale and the rarity of the treasures, it could not compare to the Crystal Dragon Palace, but everywhere in the Nine Dragons Sea, at a place with naturally occurring spirit stones and/or mines like the Endless Pool, even those with influence like the Crystal Dragon Palace would be slightly inferior. Hunyangzi's 5-star Golden Wind and Morning Dew upgrade required 32 pieces of suitable water-type spirit jade and 160 liang for spirit sand supplements. As he kept upgrade materials in mind, Su Xing did not waste any time. He slowly wandered, his gaze sweeping non-stop from side to side. As expected of the center of the Nine Dragons Sea, it was clearly different from those markets from before at Devil Star City. The market sides were practically all those highly detailed, 4- or 5-story high pavilions, as if each one was financially robust, successful business. Su Xing honestly saw some of the names of the buildings in other market squares. Since they came to Rising Dragon City with difficulty, Su Xing naturally would not miss this chance. Not only Hunyangzi's materials, but he would also find Lin Yingmei and the others' materials as well. At the same time, he could refine the materials for his flying swords. If he calculated carefully, the expenditures were really extravagant. Even if at the 4th phase Chai Ling used her Help the Needy for Justice innate skill to loan him 100 billion liang of gold, Su Xing still felt poor. Since this was so, he did not make any careful differentiation. Su Xing put all of the ores and spirit sands he wanted onto a list. At once, he inquired from store to store. Some, Heavenly Yang Earthly Yin Quintessence, 8-horn Spirit Sand, 2, Heavenly Hook Soul Stone, 3, Returning Spirit Treasure Jade, and more. Seeing the names of the dazzling ores, even Guan Ying was dizzy. This man honestly was very ostentatious. However, things for star weapon upgrade naturally each were extremely precious. How could these be so easy to find? To take them, perhaps the master of the Nine Dragons Palace, Shi Jingluan, had already taken them. Contrarily, some of the materials to refine the earth element swords were collected in generous amounts. Su Xing was not impatient at all. Originally, he had no hopes to easily find the materials he needed in the market square. Two girls followed close behind. Stopping and going like this, they already crossed more than half of the market square. When Su Xing reached the front of a 3-story high building, his eyes could not help but slightly squint. This building clearly was much bigger than the store at the front, and the cultivators entering and leaving were many. Their cultivations were Galaxy late stage and higher. It appeared this store was actually very well known. Looking at it, the building's main gate hung a sign, and written on it were 3 huge golden characters, Hidden Jade Pavilion. 5. In his heart, he could not help but be happy. Could it be that this Hidden Jade Pavilion was specialized in selling spirit jade? Having passed so many markets, walked by so many shops, it was rare to see this sort of store specialized in spirit jade. Su Xing did not hesitate at all to lift his legs and step in. The building's floor space was large, length and width both around 30 or 40 zhang. There were 5-6 pretty Galaxy stage assistants currently helping some customers inside the store, pointing to a few things all around the shelves, giving detailed introductions. Seeing a shelf of those rows of blinding spirit jade that practically dazzled the eyes, Every piece of spirit jade was processed by a jade refinement master, the purity astonishing. Just when Su Xing walked in, a clerk with a full smile moved towards him, wishing to greet him. "Step back, leave it to me to greet this fellow." Sitting on a chair in a corner of the store, a white-robed man currently leisurely sipping tea, clearly proficient in discerning the abilities of cultivation. With a glance, after he saw Su Xing's cultivation had surprisingly reached galaxy middle stage 6. Of course, just this did not mean much, but behind him were two women with cultivations too deep to measure. Having seen people around the hidden jade pavilion for so long, how could this middle-aged man not know what the background of the person before him was? Setting down his cup of tea with an astonished look, he hastily blurted out and stopped the servant. Then he arranged his clothes, rushed over a few steps to salute Su Xing, respectfully saying, "Fellow, to be able to come to our hidden jade pavilion, it truly is this pavilion's honor. This floor naturally will not have the things senior wants. How about senior follows junior to the third floor for a finer discussion?" "Sure, it looks like I really came to the right place." Su Xing's gaze flashed times. He smiled. This person probably knew he had come for Star General's star weapon upgrade materials. Under the white-robed man's direction, they calmly went upstairs. The first floor's cultivators that had been buying things, when they saw this situation, naturally knew that Su Xing was a supercluster-level cultivator and that he was a star master. Immediately, they were in a ruckus. He is surprisingly a supercluster-level star master. This is the first time I have ever seen one. He looks so young? No wonder those two women behind him are so beautiful. They appear to be star generals, too, surprisingly. Could he be Holy Lord of Draconic Demon or Great Saint Starkiller? A succession of amazed gasps and odd addressed directly sounded out. The hidden jade pavilion's third floor was not large, but it was somewhat arranged uniquely elegant. Additionally, there were another two good-looking female cultivators. Upon seeing the middle-aged man bring customers, they immediately steeped a pot of fine tea. "Please, drink first. This is Jing Radish Springtime Tea 7, that this pavilion spent much money to purchase. It has a flavor like no other." The middle-aged man waited for Su Xing to sit down, then he immediately smiled and made introductions. Su Xing took a sip. Having tasted Chai Ling's Cloud and Mountain White Robe, this Jing Radish Springtime Tea's current flavor was insipid, intolerably vulgar. "Your servant wonders what good spirit jades the hidden jade pavilion has? Let us look at this first. Your servant has matters to attend to and does not have much time to delay." Su Xing said, an indolent tone, the implication being that he did not have high hopes for the hidden jade pavilion. "Then that will depend on fellow's sincerity." Making his own request known, upon hearing Su Xing's number of spirit jade, the white-robed man was also dumbstruck. The materials within included metal, wood, water, fire and earth, every one of the 5 elements. They had top-notch treasures, but how were only 1 or 2 of these for Star General's use? Clearly, 7 or 8 was enough, but the man was made dizzy, somewhat skeptical is this youth wanted to seize a monopoly on these precious materials. Thinking of this, he actually felt relieved. Other star masters monopolizing this level of material was not unheard of. Fellow's materials are indeed rare. This pavilion cannot do anything. The man wiped his sweat. "Is there nothing?" Su Xing shook his head, disappointed. "This actually is not the case. Fellow required 32 water-type spirit stone. This pavilion just so happens to have many." The man promptly said, "Really?" When Su Xing heard this, he was slightly interested. It was perfect for making Hunyang's 5-star star weapon upgrade. It is more expensive. This pavilion wonders if fellow can take a few things out to exchange. The man smiled. "What spirit jade?" Hunyangzi asked him. "Jiangnan water smoke jade." Her older sister, younger sister, and mother all were in the car, which made me embarrassed and at a complete loss. More about my blind date. She really is a pretty girl, the strong girl type that I like. Her figure is good, and she works out of country, a parallel line that doesn't intersect with a shut-in like me. What a pity. 2. Right arrow curving left 3. Right arrow curving left 4. Right arrow curving left 5. Right arrow curving left 6. He means galaxy middle or above, I guess right arrow curving left 7. Right arrow curving left 8. Jiangnan water smoke jade. This certainly was a good thing, simply perfect for advancing Hunyangzi's golden wind and morning dew double sabers to 5-star. Name your price. Su Xing said. About the price, this pavilion has 50 pieces of Jiangnan water smoke jade. Fellow should know the price of these. 50 pieces of Jiangnan water smoke jade at the very least could allow a star general, regardless of whether they were a heavenly star or an earthly star, upgrade their star weapon to terrifying 5-star with room to spare. This simply was a priceless item. Seeing the white-robed man's face was shrewd, the hidden jade pavilion clearly was proficient in the business of spirit jade. They were not unfamiliar with giving star generals materials for star weapon upgrades. Su Xing feared that taking these 50 pieces of Jiangnan water smoke jade would be very costly. Su Xing remained aloof. Say how many liang of gold that would be converted to for now? Many high-grade and supreme-grade materials were very rarely exchanged for using gold by the majority of cultivators. Most bartered, item for item, however, converting to gold was also considered a value judgment on both sides. Jiangnan water smoke jade is produced from Jiangnan, where water smoke condenses into stone over 1,000 years. At the very end, a jade refinement master processes it into pure jade. Each piece is worth at least 30 billion gold. One piece was 30 billion, 50 pieces would be 1.5 trillion liang. This honestly was an astronomical number. Chai Ling's loan of 100 billion truly was not enough to fill the gaps between his teeth. However, if fellow has some precious spirit jade, spirit grasses or the like to barter, those can do. The man smiled, warming his tone. Dear husband, Hunyangzi wrinkled her brows. This thing genuinely was too expensive. It would be better for them to go to Jiangnan and collect some themselves. Su Xing shook his head. Since they could advance Hunyangzi's star weapon to 5-star, Su Xing naturally would not waste any time going to some Jiangnan, let alone that they needed to help Guan Ying go break the 5-star Devil Star. Afterwards, Bright Star Hunyangzi inevitably would battle to the death with Guan Sheng. Although he felt somewhat regretful, any way it was put, he stood firmly by his wife's side. Once her star weapon upgraded to 5-star, then she had a chance of victory over the 4-star Great Blade. Guan Ying made no expression. She merely drank her tea, like a sculpture. Su Xing currently had a lot of assets. Besides more than 100 billion gold, he still had the life-extending flat peach, 10,000-year evil-suppressing gem bamboo, Gen Wu divine iron, and other supreme-grade precious materials, but using them was a bit regretful. Su Xing thought for a moment and took out some materials and magic weapons for this white-robed man to go look. How could he have anticipated that this man would nevertheless shake his head and smile after looking through them, not very content? He was still lacking. Does this place have any Jiangnan water smoke jade? We want some. Just at this moment, several women walked up to the 3rd floor and suddenly spoke. Su Xing and the others were startled, turning their heads to look. The newcomers were 4 youthful girls, their brows like paintings, their appearances elegant, about 15 or 16 in appearance. They were dressed considerably gracefully. 2 of the girls among them were especially special. One had short hair covering her ears, the arrangement distinct, and wore a blue and white sleeveless jacket embroidered with waterflowers. Her chest revealed a deep valley, and she had shorts and long boots. The other wore a red palace dress, an especially attractive one among them. She had a low-cut shirt, 100-pleat short skirt, phoenix feather long boots and a morning phoenix wide sleeves. Her golden hair hung down in a ponytail. They entirely were stunning for all the world. When the 4 women saw Su Xing's group of 3, their gazes immediately lingered on Guan Ying and Hunyangzi's bodies, each side showing scorching gazes towards the other, then returned to Su Xing, somewhat pensive. Fellows! The hidden jade pavilion's other female cultivators stepped forward. Hey, elder sister Chuha, those are Jiangnan water smoke jade. The girl wearing a red corset was delighted. She tugged on the blue palace dress of the girl about her age and directly walked over. These 50 pieces of Jiangnan water blue jade, we want them. The girl did not even look at Su Xing, immediately speaking. Everything is first come, first served. Su Xing knitted his brow. Did you not buy it yet? This red palace dress girl twitched her lips, not giving a damn about Su Xing. Who says, this shopkeeper and I have already discussed the price. Su Xing threw another strip to the middle-aged man. You can only count that as purchased just now. Do you take us to be blind? That red low-cut shirt girl said. First come, first served, but you must choose whoever can produce an even higher price. The watercolored garment woman slanted her head and thought aloud, actually informing Su Xing that merchants only thought of benefits, not order of arrival. That girl named Chuha nodded, very calmly saying, 50 pieces of Jiangnan water smoke jade, we can hand over 5 stalks of 1,000-year spirit dragon grass, 50 billion of gold, 2 high-grade magic weapon, and an ancient lost treasure. This honestly was rich and imposing. The items she offered indeed were much better than Su Xing's. The white-robed man clearly was interested, but he was deeply versed in the ways of business, nevertheless showing nothing on his face, but feigning a conflicted appearance. This fellow is indeed first. Although his things are not comparable to you ladies, the hidden jade pavilion keeps its word. How can we go back on our word over this little thing? The implication was that if you can show something better, I will consider it. Are you still unsatisfied, you dishonest shark? Careful that we rob your store, make you suffer a loss. The red corset girl put her hands on her hops, furiously saying, we are but the Azure Dragon Territories Sikong, 2 family. To surprisingly extort us, the Ice and Fire twin sisters, truly you do not wish to live. This is the Black Turtle Territory. The white-robed man appeared amiable. Let alone that the hidden Jade Palace is under the 9 Dragons Palace. If you too feel cheated, then try it. Do not cause trouble. Sikong Chuha's delicate hands stopped her little sister's screaming. Our things have but many values. That 1,000-year spirit dragon grass can be exchanged. One ought to be reluctant to exchange it. Dong Nyo looked at her indignantly. The golden ponytail girl to the side was about to make a move, her character an exceptional sort of irritable. Your distinguished self has also said business pays particular attention to sincerity. To so baselessly increase the price will harm the 9 Dragons Palace's reputation. Sikong Chua slightly smiled. Compared to her little sister's impetuous behavior, she was considerably courteous. This pavilion does not hide anything. Fellows, what will you use the Jiangnan water smoke jade for? Comparing you and I, we are in understanding. If it was not for Queen Jingluan's orders, the hidden jade pavilion would not dare take this out for an exchange. In fact, the things you two took out are very good, but nevertheless useless. These things are indeed precious, yet really not difficult to obtain. However, we sisters wanted to save some trouble. How about this? Your servant shall add a stalk of 800-year spirit grass. Sikong Chuha warmly smiled. The white-robed man hesitated. Jiangnan water smoke jade was useful for star weapon upgrades. If they actually did not barter, then honestly no one would want it. Otherwise, he would not have so fervently invited Su Xing and the others to the 3rd floor. Star General's materials could be sold only once every 100 years. The man looked at Su Xing. Does this fellow still want them? Ever since these 4 graceful girls came up, Su Xing continuously did not utter a sound, but he surreptitiously sized them up. If he did not guess wrongly, at least 2 of these 4 girls should be Star Generals. The Ice and Fire twin sisters. It seems that Sikong Chuha and Sikong Dongyo should be the Star Masters. Su Xing was inwardly worried. The 2 girls were supercluster early-stage cultivation. With only a bit of force, they could keep up with the pace of a Star Master at present. Seeing their extravagance just now, and invoking the name of the Sikong family, it seemed their background was solid. Were these 2 sisters Star Masters? Hey! Guan Ying glanced at Su Xing, reminding him. Oh, your servant naturally wants these Jiangnan water smoke jade. Since he could not do something like robbery, Su Xing naturally wanted to obtain it with a clear conscience. Thus, he remained with no shame to Hunyangzi. That, the white-robed man smiled. However, to use the 10,000-year evil-suppressing gem bamboo as an exchange honestly was a bit of a loss. Su Xing suddenly remembered that he had just mentioned the 9 Dragons Palace's Queen Jingluan. His mind moved. If he did not misremember, Minute Star 9 Tattooed Dragons Shi Jingluan's upgrade to 5-star star weapon was still missing a few of the 9 Song's yellow dragon pearls that he stole. Since she was taking great pains to take Star General's star weapon upgrade materials for trade, clearly she urgently needed the 9 Song's yellow dragon pearls. Hey, are you going to buy them or not? If you aren't, just say so, don't pretend like you're rich. Sikong Dongnyo impatiently urged. It is not your turn to yell at dear husband. Hunyangzi's tone showed a bit of ice cold. What does it matter if she yells? The golden ponytailed girl retorted, unconvinced. Killing intent manifested. Amiability makes you rich. This store certainly cannot bear your argument. The white-robed man wiped his sweat. Qing Ming. 3. The blue-clothed woman said warmly. The girl known as Qing Ming pursed her lips. You said what Queen Jingluan wanted just now, is that right? Su Xing asked the white-robed man. Precisely. The hidden jade pavilion belongs to the 9 Dragons Palace. If you can take out what the queen wants, that would be better. The white-robed man slightly smiled, feeling some promise. Then Queen Jingluan perhaps can use 3 9 Song's yellow dragon pearls that your servant once obtained. Su Xing smiled, flipping out the 3 yellow dragon pearls. Ha! The girls were shocked. The white-robed man's eyes flashed a peculiar glint. His whole body involuntarily trembled. Although it was fleeting, it did not escape Su Xing's eyes. If this was the case, Shi Jingluan's upgrade to a 5-star destined weapon was missing these 3. Perhaps she would come for these. Originally, Shi Jingluan was considered a foe. Regardless, if he could delay with 3 9 Song's yellow dragon pearls, then he would delay. He could not allow Shi Jingluan to reach 5 stars so quickly. But now that he had to trade for these 50 Jiangnan water smoke jades, 3 9 Song's yellow dragon pearls were a perfect fit, let alone that even if he did not trade, Shi Jingluan should be able to trade for them sooner or later. At that time, his own 3 9 Song's yellow dragon pearls would become trash. Furthermore, what did he have to fear allowing Shi Jingluan to upgrade to 5-star? If they actually star-dueled each other in the future, Su Xing would not fear her. After pondering for a while, this was precisely the opportunity bestowed by the heavens to take out these 3 9 Song's yellow dragon pearls. Only these 3? Although they are lacking, this store pays particular attention to the word trust. Since the first fellow has raised the prospect of business, adding on these 3 9 Song's yellow dragon pearls, the 50 Jiangnan water smoke jade are yours. The white-robed man said frankly. You've got it all wrong. Your servant only took these 3 9 Song's yellow dragon pearls to trade for the 50 water smoke jades. Su Xing put the pearls away, smiling slightly. 5, what? The white-robed man was taken aback, somewhat unsightly. Fellow is unavoidably speaking nonsense. It is difficult for 3 9 Song's yellow dragon pearls to be traded for 10 water smoke jades, yet you unexpectedly want to trade for 50? How about this then? Since fellow has only 3, this store shall trade 8 pieces of water smoke jade, how about that? 3 for 50. Su Xing was in no hurry. You are being too steep, are you extorting this store? The man coldly said. Everyone else was astonished. Su Xing's request indeed was somewhat outrageous. Wait a moment, since he is so confident, could it be? Sikong Chuha's eyes shifted. She suddenly thought of something. They are tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.